New Paltz, former director of operations at Jane Foodie, headed food service operations for season 4 of Raising Canaan, including craft services, breakfast, and lunch for all cast and crew members. Former server at the CCF, bartender, caterer, and dear friend of mine. Lily, I know you had a long day. Good evening. How are you? How have you been? Welcome to the show.
Hello and thank you. What's going on, Kenford? How are you?
Doing well. I was out of breath with your long introduction
As
there.
I heard it, I was like, wow, that was aggressive, but I guess it's all true. It's all true.
So, like growing up, born and raised in New York, right? You lived in the same house, then the house was torn down, your original house, and it was
Mhm.
rebuilt. Do you remember anything about that whole process?
I remember a lot of it actually, because we lived on the same property and it was like a half an acre and then a lake, and I loved it. And yeah, when I was 7, I remember my parents telling us like we're gonna start building a new house, and I thought I was like moving, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like new school, new me, like what I had like a whole thing in my head. Knocked down the house we were in, literally moved to the same property. Like we shifted to the right lightly, and then built that house. And it was actually wild watching like the whole house come up under construction. Like I got to watch my parents build like their dream home. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then you found out the house is on the market for sale. Your parents, they wanted
Yeah.
to move, or what was that about?
They wanted to move. So that was pretty much like after COVID and stuff like that. My mom was like definitely ready. And my dad like is all over the place. Like he does, like me, just wears many hats and runs around from meeting to meeting. So I think he could have like stayed another year or two, but they really were interested in down south. My dad's family's down there. So when they started looking, they found a pretty good property and they just jumped on it. And then they put our house on the market.
How upset were you by
Oh,
that?
I was super bummed. Me and my sisters all. I think even my parents are like kind of bummed. It was just a really awesome house and a cool spot to grow up, like right on the water like that. Even when
Right.
I was looking for houses, like there was no finding that.
Yeah. Any kind of cool memories growing up in that house?
A ton. Just funny memories like with like friends. Like we took one of my friends in. So one of my friends lived with me from when we were like 18 on, but
Right.
we just all hung out. Like all me and my sisters, even though we're like 5 and 10 years apart, all of us would just hang out all the time. We'd have our friends over, and I would go fishing all the time. Like since I was a kid, like if I couldn't sleep or something, or if I just woke up really early for no reason, I could literally like my fishing pole was like against my house. I'd go grab it, lift a rock, grab a worm,
Yeah.
and go fishing. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. I still love fishing. I don't eat
Right.
fish or anything like that. I'm very much like a catch and release person. I just like the peacefulness and like the zen of just like chilling by the water and fishing. So like
Yeah.
I used to just do that like literally almost every day. Like whenever I had like a few hours, I would just go vibe by the water.
That's awesome. I never knew you loved fishing like that.
Well, yeah, no. I haven't gone actually, sadly, in probably like a good year or two
Right.
because I always just had my backyard. So now that like I don't, I'm like, do I have to get like a fishing license and like actually like be a real person? So
Yeah.
that has demotivated me. But I do still have like all my stuff. I love fishing.
Biggest fish you ever caught was what? Was how
Oh
much
my
how many
God.
pounds?
I wish I had a picture for you because I do buried somewhere. I went with my uncle. My uncle has a charter service down south called Carry On Charters. And I went in the Hudson with him years ago. I was probably like 10. And I
Wow.
caught a striped bass that was like the size of me.
Really?
Yeah, it was like wild. Like there's one picture and I'm literally a child. I'm holding it with both hands to try to keep it up. And it's literally like its tail is on the floor and it's up
Right.
to like my chin.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that was by far the biggest fish I've ever caught. But in the lake, I caught some pretty crazy bass and carp. Except the carp would always snap my line because they're like, I don't know. I just used like normal fishing line. Like carp are like monsters. They would just snap your line
Right.
in a sec. You could see them like because they get pretty close to the surface. So like
Right.
I would like see them and you just see this monster fish and I'd be like, I need it. Like I was like that. Like I would be like the way my house was too, there was like a back driveway and that was the one by the water. So sometimes like walking home, like I would always walk that way to see if there was any fish that I could potentially catch. And like
Yeah.
sometimes there'd be like these monsters. So I would like run and I would hook them and they'd
Yeah.
just snap my line all the time.
Jeez.
Yeah. So they were rough. But I
Man.
tried. I tried.
Wow.
I don't think I had one carp that I was like literally in a war with for like years. And I never got him.
I've known you for a long time. We've never talked about a fishing story
That is funny. No, my old house I associate a lot with fishing because literally like that was like one of my main
on the
things. Like
lake.
I used to
Yeah.
go all the time because I
Yeah.
loved living on a lake.
Yeah.
Loved.
But then your siblings were already gone. Were you the only one remaining in the house? You're the youngest, right? Cam and Meg were already gone, so you're the only one remaining, right?
Yeah, Meg moved down south. She was in South Carolina for about 8 years. She was down
Right.
there for a while. And then Kansas, she moved. How old was I when Can moved out? I was probably like 21 or 2. I want to say like around there. And then she moved to Mayapack.
Okay.
So there was like a year or two that it was me and my parents. And then after COVID, when we were like locked down together, I was
Yeah.
like, it's time to go. Love it. August 2020, I was out.
Being the youngest, right? It's Can, Megan, then you, right?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff you got away with being the youngest?
You would think more,
Yeah.
but like not much, honestly. Like, I had like a curfew. My mom gave me like a really hard 1 a.m. curfew, like from probably like 14 on. So like how I structured this was I would turn my phone off at 1 o'clock in the morning. Or one of my friends, like notoriously, we she had like little parties in her basement, and we would she just had really bad service. No one ever had service at her house. So like I just saw it as a win. So I would just like come home at like 2 or 3 and I'd be like, oh my God, like
Were
I
they
didn't
waiting up for you?
know.
Like, mom, would she wait up for you before you
She
came
would
home?
wait up for me for sure. And then she'd be like, oh, like, what were you doing? I'd be like, oh, like, sorry, like, and didn't know. And like sometimes she'd be like, I know you're bullshitting. And I'd be like, all right, well,
Yeah.
you got me there, but like didn't do that much. So like
Right.
I was never doing anything that bad. I was just chilling.
Yeah.
So but yeah, getting away with stuff. I don't think I got away with much. I was pretty much always held accountable, but
Okay.
I got shit for it for sure. But
Yeah.
um, my sisters would probably say like I got away with murder, but I really don't think I did. Because my nephew, he lived with us for a little while when I was like younger and in like my bullshit.
Mhm.
And because I was 14 when my nephew was born, which is like when you start being,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
And I would like come home or something and I'd be like, oh, there's a baby. So like I have to be super quiet. So like
Right.
it's not like I was bringing people home late or doing anything crazy. I was like, oh, can't wake the baby up.
Right.
So I really wasn't too bad.
Who got into the most trouble? You or Ken or
Me, Cam,
Megan?
and Meg.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I got in the least amount of trouble. And that's not
Okay.
even me being like, I feel like Can and Meg definitely got more trouble than I did.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. There was like never anything like, oh my God, they did that. But like, as far as like school stuff and like stupid fights and like stuff like that, like definitely Can and Meg.
Yeah. You guys are super close, right? You guys still call each other, talk to each other
Oh yeah,
to
no,
this
we
day.
talk all the time. We have our
Yeah.
little Instagram group chat. We send memes, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to them literally almost every day.
Ken has kids. What did your kids call you, by the way?
Aunt Lil.
Aunt Lil.
Aunt Lil.
Wow.
Or Aunt Will.
Was that your idea or their whose idea was that?
I guess their idea. Like so Jace was the first, like my first nephew. And yeah, he automatic because everybody like family wise, they pretty much call me Lil and then
Yeah.
Aunt Lil. So then he did, and then we got the rest of them, and now yeah, just Aunt Lil. And then I walk in, they're like Aunt Lil, and they scream and they run, and it's a whole thing. Then they ask me what I brought them.
Yeah. Before we move on about the house, who bought the house? Have you ever drove by there to see what it was like? Last time you went there to check up on that place.
So I did meet the people that bought the house. The
Okay.
day that the house sold or whatever, we literally waited as long as we could. We were so sad the day the
Yeah.
house was gone. So basically the
Yeah.
people came and it was actually nuts because like my parents still had stuff like in the fridge. So I'm not even kidding. The day the people were
What kind of
I
stuff
shit
was in the
you not,
fridge?
like milk and stuff. Like they still
Okay.
had like a significant amount of stuff in the fridge. So my mom was
Yeah.
like, the people are literally like this house is like not ours. Like we need to like
Get
vacate.
out.
And we still had some stuff in the fridge. It was very chaotic moving day. I remember that. And then we were all just sad because we are like the house. I took a selfie and it's like my sister's crying and like me smiling. Um, but we did meet the people and they seemed really nice. And I think it was like a woman, I think it was it just a woman or a married couple? I think it was a married couple.
Okay.
And they had like, I think the father lived with them and he was older and I think kind of sick, and they just wanted like a very zen place. And like, so the lake to them, like what it was to us, just like this
Right.
gorgeous, like zen spot.
Mellow
So then
spot.
they ended up going in there. And I have driven by a couple times. Um, and I've like looked, I always get a little sad because not only is that house gone, the neighbor's house, I was also very close with my neighbors that were like, we shared a backyard, not shared, but like a backyard over. They were right there.
Right.
That house was like a very historic house. It used to be like a bar way back in the day, and then now it was a house. And I'm still close with them to this day. Now she lives in Spain and this and that. My good friend Isabel. Um, but that house also got bought because their parents sold the house too. That house got bought, and they were doing all this construction on it. It was like a beautiful, really cool colonial house,
Yeah.
and something during construction it collapsed. So like not
Oh,
only like is our house gone, like their house is gone too. So like when I drove by and it's just like a construction site, I'm like
yeah.
damn,
What did
like
he
that
ask? Yeah.
hurts your soul a little bit. But
Jeez.
still happy I grew up there and whatnot. I definitely look at it like fondly
Yeah.
because it was a really cool spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the neighbor's house being gone on top of our house being sold, I'm like, damn, like it's just different, you know?
Yeah. It's very different now. Yeah. What was your first job you ever worked in?
First job I ever had was babysitting when I was like 13 or 12 or something. I babysat my dad. One of his good friends at the firehouse had a young daughter named Cassidy, and I used to babysit her. And she was chill. We didn't like, I would just take her to like the playground and like all that stuff. And her mom would like go to meetings. I would just watch her for like a few hours after school and
Right.
like over the summer and stuff. And it was like a 10-minute walk to my parents' house. So I was super chill. And then I babysat for another family, which was two kids. Um, they were really sweet too. I still, those kids actually sometimes come to the bar I'm at now, and I'm like, geez. Um, Super funny. But yeah, they're sweet. So I watched them. And then my first restaurant job was when I was 14. I was a busser at an Italian place called Terramina on the Peekskill Riverfront.
Man, how did they pay you back then? Was it cash, pay stub, or what?
You know what's so funny? I swear to you, no matter how dead or how busy that restaurant was, the server always handed me $40. And I just think, like, I swear to God, and like looking back now at how restaurants and all this, I got screwed.
Yeah.
I got so screwed
Yeah. You
every
didn't know
single
any
time.
better. You were 14. You didn't know
Yeah, I
anything.
had no idea. I was like,
Yeah.
cool, $40. And like
Yeah.
then I was like, this is gonna like get me far.
Yeah. No idea.
Yeah, garbage. Like I even think
Wow.
of like when I was a server and I was like tipping my bussers, and I'm like, I got like screwed as a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Jeez.
So
So
yeah.
prior to catering, did you have any serving experience?
So yes, so I did the busing
Okay.
from 14. I left the Terramina place. I think I was there for about a year and a half. And why did I leave there? Something annoying happened. I left. And then I worked at Court and Colonial, which I was at while I was at Cheesecake for a long. I was there for 10 years actually. There and Cheesecake.
Okay.
I kept when I started Cheesecake, I think I kept there like once a week just to have it because I
Just to
liked
have
it and
it.
it was close to my house.
Right.
I worked there also as a busser because I was 15. And then when I was 16 or 17, they made me the bar back for weddings and events and stuff. And I like that because I made like a bunch more money. And like it was just funner.
Yeah.
Got more hours, made more money. So I did that. And then as soon as I turned 18, something happened. One of the bartenders like called out on the date of like a crazy like it was like the Peekskill police officers Christmas party or something, which
Oh,
like
wow.
cops drink. So the bartender like called out or something happened. So I literally turned 18 like days prior, and they're like, you're 18, you can serve alcohol, like you're doing this. So I was like, oh, and that's literally the first time I ever bartended. I just got thrown into
Wow.
that. So I was out of my mind. And then I did that. And then once I was doing that, they were like, oh, do you want to take some serving shifts? So I more so served like weddings. And then when I started working at Cheesecake, I liked doing weekends at Cheesecake better. So then they were
Right.
like, oh, do you want like once a week on the floor of the restaurant? So then I started doing the restaurant side
Right.
there and then Cheesecake simultaneously and a wedding if I could. Like if my
Wow.
schedule allowed it, I would work a wedding.
So that pretty much laid the groundwork for Cheesecake Factory, the whole catering
Yeah,
thing.
no, I've
Yeah.
worked like every facet, like quite
Yeah.
literally of a restaurant that you could find.
So then it was CCF. Who hired you, by the way, at CCF? Who was your trainer? Who certified you at CCF?
Who did certify me? It was a couple people. Louis Tello trained me one day.
Okay.
I remember that. Louis Ray trained me another day.
Good dude. Yeah.
And then who did certify me ultimately? Was it Nancy? It could have been Nancy or Sophocles. I think Sophocles certified me
Okay.
because I remember, yeah, Soph was the one who certified me,
Shout
and
out
then
to Soph.
JR is the one who hired me.
JR hired
Soph
you.
certified me for sure.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you remember about your first day of serving? Was it overwhelming? Were you like, oh my
At
God, this man?
Cheesecake or
Yeah, at CCF. Yeah.
it was overwhelming. I had actually like a very rough Cheesecake almost actually like fired me before I even got started, fun fact, because like so when I applied to Cheesecake, it was because my restaurant I was at, the wedding one, they were renovating. So I only got scheduled 3 times for like a month. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, whatever. And then they're like, it's going to be like this for like 2 or 3 months, like while we renovate the wedding room. Whatever. And like for some people they could do that. But like when I was like in the midst of saving for college, so I was like, I like need to work. So
Yeah.
my sisters both worked at Cheesecake before me. So they like insisted that I applied to Cheesecake. So I figured I wouldn't get hired. I got a call. I literally applied online, took a shower, got out to a missed phone call. And then I like called it back like 20 minutes later. And it was like the manager at the time, Lexi. And she was
Yeah.
like, hey, like, can you come in tomorrow for an interview? And I was like, oh God, like I didn't think this would actually happen. Like,
Right.
sure. Did. Everything obviously went fine, but they wanted me to train in Ridge Hill.
Okay, because there was no
Um,
server class at the time in CCF
yes.
in White Plains. Okay.
Yes. Route 9, specifically in Briarcliff, in the mornings is a nightmare. It is just like anybody in West, it's horrible because there's like just lights through Briarcliff and like somewhere that takes you 20 minutes to get to, it takes you an hour to get to, like in
Yeah.
the morning. So the way the training class was, I was also like 18 and never had to deal with this before. So like I straight up did not know that.
Right.
So like my GPS was like, oh, it's like 35 minutes away. And I was like, okay, perfect. So like I gave myself 50 minutes to like allow for parking and whatever. I got caught in such bad traffic that I think I was like 30 minutes late to training day one.
Oh my
So
God.
like, yeah, so they wanted to kill me off rip. And I
Of
was like,
course.
wow, like I really didn't know. And like, I'm an idiot. Okay. So the next day, and training was early. It was at like 8 a.m. or
8
something.
a.m.
It
super
was
early.
really
Usually 8,
early.
9 o'clock.
So
Yeah.
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 And I woke up at like 6 and I was so late. And I was like, this sucks. So then the next day, I woke up at like 5:30. I'm not even kidding. I woke up at 5:30, made it to go coffee, whatever. And I was like out the door. My first car was a piece of garbage. Fun fact. I trained in January 2014. It was -2 this morning. Like, I will never
Wow.
forget it. I'm almost to Yonkers. My car goes up in smoke. I literally think it's going to explode. I have to like pull off the highway. I call it. I'm like, and I just look like the shittiest employee in the entire world. Cause like I'm aware,
Yeah.
like the worst
Yeah.
part of like when this stuff happens is I'm the most self-aware human being in the world. So I was like, wow, like I look like a big old piece of shit. Like this sucks.
Yeah.
So I pull over and my car, smoke is just pouring out the front of it. My check engine lights all are on. And I literally thought my car was going to explode.
Yeah.
It's -2. I'm 18. It's not like I'm prepared. I grabbed my longboard and I walked out of my car and I sat on my longboard about 100 feet away because I was waiting for my car to
Man.
explode. And I called my dad and I was like, hey, I got a situation, like whatever. So he took me, and this time I was 45 minutes late the very next day. And they were like, Lily, like,
What's
and my
going on
car,
here?
my timing belt broke. That's what ended up happening. Like my timing belt, and there was like smoke, and my power steering didn't work. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I just looked like a liar. So I was like, look, like I understand that I look so bad. And like, if you want to tell me to like literally leave, like I will, like I get it. And they're like, we're going to give you one more chance. And then I worked there for 10 years.
Jeez. Talk about a rough start,
But I
man.
literally almost got fired before I even got started, which I still think is funny. But to answer your question with the nerves, sorry, because I went off. But yes, because I was always pretty awkward. And weddings, it was just easy. You were like, hey, here's your 3 options. Like, what do you want?
Right.
Cheesecake, I was more nervous. And I think more trying to like customers will like specify to a fault. And I would like basically say yes to everything, which I think as I got better as a server, you literally have to say no to things because they're
Yeah.
just going to ruin the dish or the drink or the
Yeah.
whatever, and you're
Not
just
gonna
going to get a
taste
comp.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
So as soon as I got comfortable saying no, I was like, no, you literally can't do that. You're going to ruin it. Like I got to the point where like I was cool at my tables.
That's crazy. What are some of your favorite dishes? If you can bring back one dish, the
I
80,
could
60
bring
years
back one
ago,
dish.
what would it be?
Spicy ahi tempura roll.
Okay. That was nice. That
That
was
thing
good.
was
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
That
Very
was a
good.
really good one. And white chicken chili. I don't know if they still took that
Yeah, they
away, but
took that away. Yeah. Yeah, that was your go-to. You like that white
I
chicken chili.
loved the white chicken chili.
White
That, the
chicken
skinny
chili.
chop salad I lived off in college.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But the ahi tempura roll was an unexpected,
Yeah.
like
Kicker.
delicious. I
Yeah.
loved that thing. And the warm asparagus salad I liked too, which was random, but
Warm asparagus
I
salad.
love an
Yeah.
egg. I love an egg and a pine nut.
What's your favorite cheesecake?
My favorite cheesecake they took away, actually. It was
Okay.
the oh no, how am I blanking on this? No.
We'll circle back.
Was it
We can circle back.
Chris is Outrageous? Was that the
Oh,
coconut one?
The Chris is outrageous. Yeah, it was Chris's and
Okay,
Craig's
so
crazy carrot cake cheesecake.
oh, that was
Yeah.
also I loved
Yeah.
that one too. The Chris is Outrageous was not always a cheesecake. They made it into a cheesecake. It used to be a layer cake, like a
Right.
German chocolate cake situation.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. Not cheesecake, but that
Right.
was my favorite cheesecake cake they ever had. And then I was super mad when they made it into a cheesecake, but I still loved it.
Right. But
And
it
then
wasn't
they
the
took it
same.
away as a
They
whole,
took
and I
it
was like,
away.
you bastards. So that
Any cheers, mares? Any what's your biggest tip you ever got there at CCF?
biggest tip I ever got,
Yeah.
I think it was like 300 on 300. It was like a
Really?
wild, yeah. Like I had a party and they were nightmares. Like I'm not gonna lie, from start to finish. Like
Right.
the kitchen was like just crazy busy. The EKM at the time, won't say it, but the ticket times would be an hour, like no matter what during this 2-year period.
Yeah.
And nightmare. It was just like rough. Every Saturday, Sunday, like it was the ticket times at that time for that
Were
like
rough.
2 years was rough.
Yeah.
And this party, one person got up to go to the bathroom when I was taking orders. Nobody like told me. I didn't notice. Maybe that's on me, partially on them too. So they sit down like 15 minutes later after I put the order and they're like, oh, like what about this? So I had to put that in. And I just remember it being like, I didn't really do anything, but like other factors just made it a bit of a hot mess. And
Right.
then like, but I was just super honest with them. I was like, hey, I was like, if I put that in, I was like, I'm like, no offense, it might come out first. Like whatever. And they're like, that's fine. This and that. Their food took forever. It finally came out. Everything came out perfect. Something had to get retossed. We did. It was fine. I just remember it being like work to like keep these people happy. And
Right.
then and as everything happened, I was just like as honest as I could be. I was like, hey, like it's gonna take a minute, like whatever, it's a very busy. And they were like, we just appreciated like how real you were and this and that. And everything came out good, suggestions came out good and all that. And then yeah, they literally tipped me 100%, which that was the first, I think, and last time that's ever happened to me. So
wow. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So that was nice.
Any
And
cheese
cheese
mares?
mares, I've had a few.
You had a
I've had a few.
Those are brutal, right? Those
Oh
are
my
brutal.
God.
Yeah, those are brutal. Those are brutal.
I've lived cheese mares. That's like the craziest part. I've literally lived the bastards too. Like I used to have them I would have ones because I lived a half an hour away. I had a constant one when I worked there that I woke up like an hour late. Like I woke up an hour after my shift started.
What?
And then like what you call it, like I was so late and then I was like rushing and I've had those nightmares and then I've woken up either to that exact scenario or I've had nightmares that I worked a whole chaotic shift before and it's like you keep sending the food but the kitchen like it's not popping up. I've had like some weird ones.
Crazy. Those are scary, man.
No,
It's
they're
really
like
scary.
rough. I once
Any-
had not even a cheese mare per se. I once had a dream that I worked an entire shift at the Cheesecake Factory, like a busy, like my sales were $800, like 8 something, like whatever. Like I literally worked a whole shift in my brain and then woke up and had to go work a shift. And I was like, wow, I hate this for
Wow.
me.
That's a double.
It's like it is. It's a double. I was like, that's not even fair. I'm still pissed about that one. That happened to me
Yeah.
once, and I was mad the whole day.
Jeez.
I think I complained to Megan White about it the day that happened. I was like, you know what I did this morning in my dreams?
Yeah. Any walkouts? What side work you hated the most?
Um, I've had I had a really funny walkout that I don't know if I can say without getting canceled. Um, I had a crazy walkout once. Trying to think of how to phrase this.
Okay.
There was a person at my table
Right.
with like these like crazy heels, like they were like up to here,
Okay.
and they came and they were by themselves and they ordered all this stuff, and it was like the 80s, like by the window. And then they asked me for like something or whatever, like a cappuccino. I think they 100% like knew what they were
So they
doing
made you go all the way there,
all
and
the way
then
there. So that, and when I came, they ran
yeah.
out, but they were wearing heels. I'm not even kidding. Like I wish you could see these. They were like wild. And they were running down the sidewalk, and I was like, no. And I opened the door, and I was like, really? Because like
Yeah.
I don't care. And I
Right.
opened the door, I was like, really? And it was JR at the time, and I ran across, and I was like, JR, I was like, they're running away. Like I don't know what to do. And he was like, and he was just cracking up because the heels, like.
Yeah.
If I could describe this in full, like it's very funny, but it was the way they were running in the
Yeah.
crazy heels down the sidewalk. Like he literally, I was like, am I like in big trouble? Because like I really, and he
Yeah.
was like, you're not in trouble. That made my night. It was just funny. So
Wow.
like I don't think it got marked as a maybe
Right up.
full, but yeah, but it was like literally that. And then another time, a mojito. Somebody walked out on me on a mojito, but I was nervous because the other time I never got walkouts. I got two walkouts the entire time I worked at Cheesecake,
Right.
2 months apart. And I know that like if you get so many, like
Yeah,
it's
you're
really
done.
bad and you can
Yeah.
get
You
fired.
can get fired.
So,
Yes.
so I got them so close together and never had them. And I was like, oh my God, like if one more person walks out on me, like I'm
Right.
literally going to get fired. And I
Yeah.
didn't do anything. So I was like real nervous for a couple
Right.
months there. But yeah, it never
Wow.
happened again. The other one, it was a mojito, literally on the patio. Somebody sat down, ordered a mojito.
Right.
I literally had the drink in my hand and they were gone. And I was like, and then I forgot who the manager was, but they put it as a walkout. And I was like, it's a mojito. Like, you're really going to hit me with a walkout comp on a mojito and put it on my thing? And they did.
Right.
And I was pissed.
Wow.
I was pissed.
Side work you hated the most?
Side work I hated the most. That's
There's a lot
hard.
of them. There's ketchup. There's butters. There's dressings.
Ketchup I hated. Butters, the new butters I hated. When it was
Okay.
the butter chips, I
Right.
didn't mind it at all. When it
Right.
turned to butter patties, I
Pats, yeah.
absolutely hated it. I would say butters, I think. That
Butters.
one annoyed me. And honestly, sometimes the left soda station. Left
left
soda
side,
station would put me
yeah.
in a rage because you clean it, go to grab like a towel,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
somebody would be like, the thing would be off and they'd be shooting syrup all over it. If I had $1 for every time I yelled at somebody for that,
Yeah.
I would like be a rich girl because it was nuts.
Man. Craziest thing a guest ever said to you?
Kenford, I think you should remember this because I give you shit for this all the time. I can tell you exactly. It was an 8 top, same era of the hour ticket times. It was a brunch.
Yeah.
And they sat down and ordered, like as soon as they sat down, and everything was genuinely fine. I put their order right in.
Yeah.
He ordered a Monte Cristo with no ham. And the ticket times were literally 5 minutes after they ordered, they stopped me and they're like, is the food almost done? And I was like, you guys are going to be like annoying.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I just put your food in. I was like, it's been in ever since you ordered. Like, it's all in. I was like, it's probably going to be like at least 20 minutes because
Right.
we're very busy and brunch usually just takes a little bit longer.
Right.
And they're like, well, like we got to be somewhere. And I was like, okay. I was like, do you want me to like cancel it? And I didn't say it like a jerk, but like they were making it seem like they had to leave like now, and they ordered 3 minutes prior. And I was like, do you want me to like cancel it before it's all made? Like, how big of a rush? And they're like, well, no, like we just need it soon. And I was like, okay, well, like it's going to be 20 minutes. Like, is that okay or no? And they were like, I guess. But of course it took like 40 minutes because of the ticket times at this time.
Right.
So it finally comes out. And the guy, every time I walk by the way, this entire time is just like giving me looks like he wants to kill me. And I'm like,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So then finally the food drops. They put ham on his Monte Cristo. And I promised you, because I went back in and looked at the computer because I was like, I know I put no ham. And I did put no ham.
Right.
But they put ham on his Monte Cristo. So I go to do like the check back because I didn't know this yet.
Right.
And he is standing up.
Furious.
And yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Like, is everything all right? And he was like, there's ham on my sandwich. And I was like, oh, like, I'm so sorry about that. I was like, do you want me to have them make you a new one or whatever? I was like, really? We could like take it off, or I can have them go make you a new one, or I can grab you a manager, like whatever you want. He's like, I don't want ham on my fucking sandwich, and just starts like screaming. And I was like, okay. And like literally just like screaming at me. He told me to go fuck myself. He just went off on me. And I remember looking at you by POS 81, because it was probably, I'm going to say table 26. I'm getting yelled at.
Yeah.
And I looked over at you like, Kenford, you're going to bail me out? And you looked at me and I watched you run back onto the line. I was like, you bastard. And I remember yelling at you. It was very funny, but I remember yelling at you.
Oh,
And then, yeah, that was
man.
definitely the wildest. And then I told him after he like finished yelling, because it was the same thing back and forth. He was like, what are you going to do about this? And I was like, we can make a new sandwich, or we can take the ham off. And he just kept, so it was the same thing. Like, I don't know what he expected me, but like, I wasn't breaking. I was like, this or that. And then he was freaking out. And then it pretty much happened again. And I was like, look, I'm not serving you anymore. I'm going to find you someone else. He was like, you can't do that. And I was like, yes, I can. See you later. And then he tried to like give me a guilty 50. And I was like, I don't even want your money. And then because I like hated this guy at this point. And I was at the POS. I dropped their table. I did end up dropping their table, which I've also never done before. That is the one and only time I ever like denied service to anybody.
Right.
And then I don't know why, he like left the 50 near me and like essentially ran away. And I was like, I will take your money, but I hate you.
So I kind of vividly remember that story now that you're bringing that up.
I remember looking at you because I'm getting yelled at. I'm like, Kenford, like how? And then I had like the other tables like teaming up. They're like,
yeah,
dick. And I'm like,
yeah. That's people do that.
Thank you, Cheesecake Community. But yes, I remember that. That had me dying.
Favorite
that was wild.
That was wild. I never remember that story. That's wild. That's a wild story. Favorite manager, CCF. What do you miss the most about CCF?
Favorite manager, CCF. Yeah. I loved my managers at CCF, like most of them. Like you, obviously, like one of my favorite managers. Love Ange. Loved when Josh was a manager. Love Rob. Love JR. Meredith, Maribel. I feel bad if I'm missing anybody. I'm also just like my memory's shot. But I really like the managers working there. Looking back. They were good. And I cycled. Like I was there for like, I remember when I was there, like when all you guys, I was like, oh my God, I've been here longer than this entire management team.
A long time.
Like I was there for a minute. I went through quite a few, but that was probably like my favorite lineup towards the, that's why I was sad when I was leaving too. I was like, damn, like, cause I outlasted a couple that I wasn't crazy about. And I remember like, I was like, damn, like I really like this team of people, like lame, but graduated school. It was time to go.
What do you miss most? Any one thing that sticks out about CCF?
The people.
Yeah.
Not the customers. The people.
Yeah.
Some of the customers. I had a couple cool regulars that I actually really enjoyed.
Right.
But like I still like hang out with you guys like when I can. Like obviously not as often now because we all live kind of far. But like Cynthia, Gianna, Megan, Courtney, all them. Like I love them all. Nancy. Like I'm always so happy to see everybody. And I do. I miss going to work because I genuinely felt like I was going to see my friends every day.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was the thing that was definitely like, I was sad when I left. I was like, wow, like I'm actually like genuinely going to miss everybody so much.
Yeah.
Which like, I've never left a job and felt that way. Like truly, like there's people where it's like, oh, I'm kind of going to miss this person. Like that was the only one where I was like, damn, like I'm genuinely going to miss this entire team of people.
Yeah. You ever make a comeback? Ship has sailed already or it's done? It's done.
Come back for what?
CCF? Ever?
I don't. My only thing with it is I actually like totally would because I enjoyed it and I was good at, and I know I was good at it and like that type of stuff. But it's really for me at this point, weekends and holidays. I want to have my weekends and holidays. That's like my biggest thing. That's literally like why I went into working in an office. And it's funny because I like didn't get them. But that's like why I went into working in an office environment is I just, with all my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, like I just wanted a chiller. I just wanted to be around during normal times. I felt like when all of my friends were getting out of work, I was going into work. So I was just trying to get back on that regular schedule. Yeah. And now, funny enough, a lot of my friends work nights. So
yeah, opposites.
Now it's completely opposite.
Opposite,
I'm like, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, sick. Well, we tried.
You bartended as well while working at Cheesecake. Biggest difference between bartending and serving, in your opinion, is what?
Difference between bartending and serving. For me, I think it would be more so like I like that like whatever like what the bar is, like it's my bar and like if there's a mistake or something, if they're eating, of course, food could take a while or something
Right.
like that. But like if there's a mistake, I feel like I have more control of the bar because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's me and you, different vibes, face to face. You came because you probably want to like have a conversation or talk a little bit, and like that's totally fine.
Right.
Where a table, I feel like it's more like, I hope I'm not disturbing you. Where a bar, I feel like it's more personable. It's like you're kind of getting to know this person, they're getting to know you. And that's kind of how you get regulars and all that stuff. But it's more so just people more so coming to hang out with you
Right.
than a table. And then also in like the food aspect, it's like, oh, I'm just making the drink and I don't have to rely on all these other like facets of the restaurant. Like they're just relying on me. So I need to get this done efficiently. Da da
Right.
da. So I like the independence of the bar,
Yeah. Do you prefer
I would
either
say.
one? Do you prefer serving over bartending, or is it about the same?
I probably prefer bartending more
Okay, that's fair.
because I like it gets a little chaotic, like obviously for sure. But I do like bartending a lot.
Okay. What's your least favorite drink to make?
Least favorite drink to make.
Yeah.
Probably mojitos, honestly, just because of like, and I know
The
it's stupid.
mojitos, it comes right back full
No,
circle.
exactly. They're not even hard. It's
Yeah.
really just like the mint and the muddling situation. And like when you're really busy, it's not even like one specific drink because I don't mind genuinely like even mojitos, I don't mind making them. It's if somebody like at the bar, this happened to me the other day. I had some people come in and barely made mixed drinks. I just like cleaned all my things because it was like an hour before I closed. And then
Right.
they came in and they're like, can I get a Cosmo, green tea shots, a Long Island iced tea, an old fashioned, and like a Manhattan? And I was like, what a pain in the
Yeah.
ass. But
Yeah.
like, yes, of course. But
Yeah.
like, oh God. Cause like it literally just went from like beers and like a vodka seltzer and stupid stuff. And I just cleaned all my stuff. And it's like now I have to make 100 mixed drinks in like 2 seconds. I have to shake them all. You're gonna wonder why it's taking so long, but they're all different drinks and they
Right.
all take a second. Like, damn you guys. But like that type of stuff. It's really when I get an order like that I'm like, but like
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm just like, this is gonna take a minute. I gotta do this really fast. And then I just go into like that mode.
Right. Any crazy bartender stories throughout? Which one sticks out to you the most?
I do have a lot of crazy bartending stories.
Yeah.
Probably my worst one. This is so funny. It's so stupid, but it's so funny.
Right.
Um, I had this one regular who's like the nicest person. He owns like a pizza shop or whatever. And I love this guy. And he would always come like after he closed his pizza shop or whatever.
Mhm.
And he had, and mind you, from now and again, I'll take a little edible. But like he came and he had trolley gummy worms. And I love trolley gummy worms, like fun fact. So he's like sitting at the bar after a shift and he like opens them or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like trolley gummy worm moment. Like love that. And it's busy, by the way. It's like a
Right.
very busy Saturday night. We had a band there. Like it was like raging. So, and thank God it was a Saturday because I had my other bartender friend with me.
Right.
But I will literally never forget this because like I died. So he has like the stupid try, and I'm like, he's like, you want a couple? And I'm like, oh my God, sure. So he like hands me three. I'm like, you're the best. And I'm like starving, by the way, because
Right.
that bar would stay open until 4 o'clock in the morning. So like even if you ate at like 8 o'clock when you came in by 4 and you're just running around, like you're
Right.
hungry. So
Right.
I was like, oh my God, like sick. Thank you. So I just took all three, like popped them back like this and continued. And he like looks at me crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And he was like, Lily. And I was like, what? And he was like, those are edibles. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And I look at the bathroom line because I'm like, maybe I could like take care of this. 1,000,000 people. And I'm like,
Man.
I'm just going to have to ride this wave. And I was like, how strong are they? He goes, Lily, that was like 300 milligrams. And I was like, that's a lot, by the way. That's so much. And as somebody who really like doesn't,
Right.
I remember I walked up to the bartender who was on shift with me and I was like, hey, I messed up. Like, honestly, I was misled, but I also messed up. I accidentally did this and I'm so sorry because that's not me, by the way. Like,
right.
I really, like, you've worked with me.
Right.
I am not shitty like that.
Right.
I was like, I accidentally just did this. I'm fucked. Like, I'm so sorry. I was like, you have an hour of me being at like full speed ahead. I was like, and I'm going to do my best.
Right.
And she was just laughing. She was like, oh my God, Lily, like,
Wow.
idiots, like whatever. And then and I remember I got through the shift. I was like, and I remember because like, don't get me wrong, I was feeling it at points, but like
Right.
I was good. Like I would go to my more talkative people. I remember
Yeah,
because like
there
you
you
have
go.
those
Yeah.
people. So I'd kind of just let them talk to me for a minute. I don't remember anything they were saying. I remember just like hearing the music kind of louder, and they're just like,
Right.
and I was just like, yeah.
Wow.
And that was me for a fall. And I remember I was like, wow,
High
like
as a
that was
kite.
brutal.
Gone. High as a
That
kite.
was my craziest because it was truly an accident. Like I can't even express how innocent
Right. It
the
was.
intentions were. And I accidentally got blitzed. And I was like, wow, like that's wild. Like, because I remember I came to Cheesecake after that. I think I
Yeah.
had like a brunch shift the next day. I remember telling you guys
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was like, guys, guess what happened to me last night?
Man, oh
Something
man.
fucked up happened.
Wow. Man,
But that was
that's
probably my
insane.
top because I was like, damn. And then other stupid stuff. This one's like crazy but lightly sad. Dead. It was a really slow Saturday for whatever reason. And a slow Saturday for that place is closing at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like counting the drawer, sober, counting the drawer, whatever. And then we have like one or two regulars that are still at the bar that we're just like talking to, me and my friend, as we're closing up. And then all of a sudden, like the lights flicker and you hear like boom. And I'm like, what the hell or whatever. And I look and there's like a pole right next to the restaurant and a car just right into like the stone wall of the bar. And like the pole, like they like kind of like rubbed the side of the stone wall and just
Right.
went into the pole, and like the car was totaled. And I was like, oh, holy shit, like whatever. So like we run out of the bar and we're like, are you okay? Like whatever. And the person drunk, they're like, not from our bar, but like drunk. And they're like, no cops, like please no cops. And I'm like, you got me in such a pickle, bro.
Yeah.
Then a kid gets out of the car, like a
Oh.
5 or 6 year old kid. And then I was pissed. So what you call it? The kid gets out, and then what you call it? It was cold out. It was like the winter time or whatever. So the person's like, no cops. And I'm like, I'm not going to call the cops. I'm just going to like bring him inside so he's warm. I totally called the cops. Are you fucking kidding me? There's a
Yeah.
kid in the car. I was pissed. So that was probably one of my crazy ones too. And it was just somebody, they were driving drunk from like Peekskill or something and like hit the
Wow.
wall. But I just remember that. And then I was getting questioned by the cops, not for anything bad, because they're
Right.
trying to make sure like we didn't serve
You
them,
didn't serve
blah, blah,
them.
blah.
Right. Thank
And then I had
goodness.
to call my boss at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Let him
And
know.
yeah, and he's like, how'd that happen? Did you, sir? And I was like, no, like it was not me. Like
Yeah.
I was closing, I was counting the drawer and it's like smashed, like whatever.
Right.
And he also, like, you kind of have to downplay because like God forbid anything happens, he like freaks
Yeah.
out. Not in a bad way. He's just a little
Right.
bit of an anxious dude. So he's like, is it bad? And I'm like, no. And I remember, I wish there was a photo of this moment. I had my phone like this, and there was a piece of car sticking out of the rock wall, like just a piece of car. And he's like, how bad's the damage?
Yeah.
And like my regulars and my like bartender friend are like next to me, and I have my like knee up against the wall and I'm prying the car out of the wall. And they're like, how bad is it? And I'm like, it's really not that bad, John.
Yeah. And as you're pulling the
As I'm like
car out.
ripping car out of the wall, I'm like, don't even worry
Man.
about it.
Yeah.
So that was another
Man.
one of my crazy,
Just
just
crazy.
stupid. Like,
Crazy.
but
Crazy.
yeah, that was probably my top two, if I had to
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Accidentally getting stoned and having a car crash into the building.
That's something you tell your kids like years from now. Like crazy. Crazy.
No, I swear. Even when it happened, like I'd get home from work late. Like Alex, he's like, I thought you were getting back earlier. I'm like, car crash into the building. Sorry, babe.
Sure. It's just another day at the office.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's literally like that's
Yeah.
the vibes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always the vibes when something
Crazy.
crazy happens to me. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, where have you been? Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
So then you got a big time job, right? It's all about who you know. Director of Operations, Jane Foodie, was a company they actually hired. It was actually aired on Shark Tank. You were telling me a couple days ago.
Yeah,
You literally managed every aspect of that thing, right? I mean,
it was crazy. It was
crazy.
yeah, it was. So the way I got hired there was one of the people, like he was like a real estate guy, but he owned like a big part of like the Lionsgate studio. He was that, but he also like he owned a bunch of stuff. Like he was just like this business guy. And he liked that I had like food service and all this other stuff in my resume. And he's like, even like when you were in college, like you were busy, you know, like because I've always worked one or two jobs
Exactly.
forever.
Yeah.
So he liked that. And his partner wanted to start like a frozen food line. And then she also did the catering for Lionsgate Studios. So he was like, basically like, if you two click and like you want to do that, like let's do that, or I could like move you somewhere else. But like me
Right.
and the lady, like we got along pretty well. So and it was a startup like the Food Line for sure, and then the contract for Lionsgate. But at this time, it was the writer strike, and then right after the actors joined the strike. So every time we thought we were going back to production, it kept getting pushed. And then literally they're like, "Oh, you're going back in 6 days." And then we had to hire a whole staff. And like,
Right.
it was like, because at that point, it got pushed back for a year. So like and it's a contract position. So like their contract was over. Those people aren't going to be available in a
Yeah.
year, you know?
Yeah.
So like we had to find a whole new staff, prepare the building, get the schedule, figure out the menus. It was just like nuts. But,
Yeah.
you know, we got it done.
Yeah.
So that was something. But yeah, that was like my crazy, crazy office job.
Who got a deal with Lori on Shark Tank? You said she already
Jane.
dropped
So
out, right?
that is the woman who did the
Oh, Jane.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy,
no, that
crazy
was
stuff.
nuts.
Then you headed for the food service, right? Season 4, Raising Kanan, including craft services, breakfast, lunch, craft crew, all that stuff. How was that in the beginning? You meet anybody super cool while you were doing that on set or anything like that?
I saw people from afar. I can't say I even met people that cool.
Yeah.
Like I saw like Patina Miller a few times, and like her assistant was very sweet. But that was more so like if I was running to the office, because like the office, like where they have it in like the dressing rooms and stuff are like right there. So like basically when I had to, because I was in charge of payroll, and like I said, like it was like my boss, but she would be in like either Hopewell or Yonkers. Sometimes she was in Yonkers. She was in Hopewell a lot for that one. So like sorry,
Hey,
my
the
lovely
dog. We're
dogs.
live TV. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah, listen to them. So sometimes I would go run. Sometimes I would have her there, but for the most part, like, yeah, she was working on the Food Line. And then, like, if something happened, I had to be like, hey, like, something happened. But
Right.
I was pretty much, it was me and then my other coworker, Jim, and he was like the food, and I was like the front of the house. So then, like, craft services, I was pretty much like the runaround person. Like, and then we were constantly trying to figure out, like, okay, if hair and makeup came in at this time, and this is this time, lunch is slotted for the, and it was different every single day, the schedule.
It was never set schedule. Okay.
Yeah, and then if they went on location, a lot of the times they'd come back to us, but like sometimes it takes longer because it's filming a
Yeah.
show and you don't know
Right.
how many takes it's going to get. So they'd be like, "Oh yeah, like we're going to be there for lunch at like 2 p.m." And they wouldn't come until like 6 p.m. So like it was just like,
A lot.
but you had to be ready by 2 p.m. Like if you
Right.
weren't ready by 2 p.m. and they came, you're like screwed.
You're screwed.
So it was like it was hard to like manage that and
Right.
like figure it out to get it to a point where it would work. And then it was kind of that, and then just like, yeah, craft services, keeping that stocked and whatnot. That wasn't so bad, but yeah, I just was running back and forth from the stages to the kitchen because it was like a building apart. So I literally just I got some steps in
Yeah,
that
from building to
season.
building.
I ran around like a lunatic.
Any experiences you took away from this? What do you know now that you didn't know back then? Because I know you were pretty excited when you got this job. You were really excited when you got this job.
I was excited when I got that job.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of things I enjoyed about it. I think ultimately, like my whole thing was more so because it wasn't like, even though it was like it was a contract thing, like with the show, and then
Yeah.
like from the Food Line. The only thing I would say, like for myself personally, is more so like just advocating for yourself, like in certain situations. I feel like there was a lot of things like because I was definitely like the nice manager. And I wasn't always, I don't think everybody thought I was a nice manager, but for the most part, I was like pretty, like, I was always trying to make things go smoothly. I didn't want there to be like any drama or like BS between like, because there were so many people working at that. You just want to keep everything smooth.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was the person that everybody would like come to with stuff. And I'm happy that I did that and that people felt comfortable with me and all that stuff. And I just, for me, like I feel like I asked for support and I wasn't 100% like met with the support that I needed. So if it were up to me, I think I would demand it a little bit more now.
Right.
Because I feel like there was a lot of things where like it was like, oh, okay, like nobody can do this. Like, and I was the fixer. Like anything happened, like it fell on me. So like
Right.
I do wish that I had, or at least because I was still newer at the time, and I was like, you know, and I'm younger and this and that, and like a lot of the people were older than me that I was like their boss. And
Yeah.
it taught me a lot and not to be taken advantage of and stuff like that for sure. Not that I feel like anybody did, but
Yeah.
people try to angle, believe me.
Yeah.
And I just wish, like I was more like stern about like when I needed help. Because
Okay.
instead I would just come in at 3 o'clock in the morning to unlock the doors and I'd be getting home at like 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m.
Wow.
And yeah, like it got to the point where and after I left that job, it literally took me like 2 months to just recover from the burnout,
Yeah. That's a
like
long day.
complete burnout.
3 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's a
Yeah. When
long
like
day.
production days, yeah. Cause depending on their schedule, it's usually like a 10 to 12, sometimes even longer. But when they run late, you run late, the whole day runs late. And then I would have to be the first one in to unlock the door because hair and makeup are the first in. And you have to be there, I think, like 30 minutes before them so that like they have their stuff. So
Right.
I'd have to come in at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, unlock the doors, and then I would be the last one out because I'd be like doing the paperwork and I
Yeah.
had to like submit numbers for how many people and all this. So like me and pretty much, yeah, my colleague Jim, like we would come in, we were the first people there literally every single day and the last people out every single day for a whole production crew. We were the
Wow.
first and last. It was insane without a break. Like there was never really a
Crazy.
break because everybody else got a break, but like we didn't get a break because we were running it. So we just ran around like crazy.
Jeez. What's the
Yeah.
number one reason you think you left? The shady NDNAs. You didn't sign them. Why was that not on the table? The first day orientation. Why was that even a thing?
I still think it was weird. Like it was for that pretty much.
Hmm.
I randomly just got like after I worked there for so long, um there was like the Lionsgate stuff, and that I signed an NDA for. And like
Okay.
that wasn't
Yeah.
a giveaway of anything. That was just like that was
Yeah.
what my job was.
Right.
Then for the other one, pretty much, was doing all this stuff for the food company and working like very closely trying to make this happen and all that stuff. And then my main issue with that was like time off because I got like a week off to go on vacation and I just had like a lot going on at the time.
Right.
And it got to the point where like I felt like I wasn't able to even like take a doctor's appointment and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was like, this is kind of getting like crazy with the time off. And like I was pretty much like told that I'd get more the longer I've been there, and that just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And even when I did take my time off, it like never was okay. So then I was getting a little annoyed by that. And there was like a conversation about that. And then not very long after that, on my literal birthday, I was told that like we're getting an NDA for Shark Tank and all that stuff because the company was going on.
Right.
And then I got it and like it wasn't for Shark Tank. And I was like,
Man.
hey, like, what's this? And I was just told, like, that's what it was for, this and that. But, like, if you read it, it wasn't. And it was like sus for a couple reasons. And I was like, okay, like, I'm not signing this. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. Like, I have given everything to this. And I just, like, you have to know when to walk away. And for me, I was already pretty much there.
Right.
And that was just like the nail in the coffin. I was like, you know what? I'm done. It's fine.
Did she try to beg you to come back? I'm sure she did, right? Because you pretty much did everything for her.
I'm not gonna lie, I blocked her.
Oh, on social media and all fronts, blocked
Yeah.
her. Wow.
So like maybe, but it wasn't. It was really. I just felt disrespected. I'm not gonna lie, I still do. So that was kind of just like the final straw for me. I was like, I'm not. I did too much, and like there was other things that happened, like somebody from the company, like a big deal, like passed away, and there was just a lot of elements where I was like, this is just like, this is not what I signed up for. And like you could feel sorry and like this and that, and you could work
Yeah.
so hard, but like at the
Right.
end I was like, this just isn't what I thought it would be. This isn't what I wanted it to be. Like
Right.
I'm a fit. And that was like kind of the final straw for me. I felt like I really did give it my all. And I was like, as long as I know, and I tried my best and I rode through certain storms. And that was kind of the final straw for me. I was like, I'm good. I'm walking away.
How was the money? The money was, I'm sure, was great, right?
The money was good. Honestly, for the amount of hours,
Yeah.
it still could have been better, but it wasn't bad. I can't complain about that because I was able to comfortably walk away like that. And
Yeah.
that's not like my style. Like I've always been like a very like 2 weeks notice. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a bad employee. Like, and I know that. That's also like, because I felt really bad, especially like when I kind of made that decision. But I also that day I left like same day notice, which is
Wow.
like I said, yeah, that's not my style. I that's not my style at all. I literally always give like notice.
Yeah.
Um, and I felt really bad about it and stuff like that. But that I was essentially, I felt like they were trying to pressure me to sign it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Not
no,
happening.
like I'm not signing that. Like it was just like weird. It was backdated. And I was like, I'm not signing this. Like that's, yeah.
Nothing.
So that was the final straw for me. Cause like I felt bad about it. And then like honestly, like months later and looking back, I'm like, why did I feel bad? I
Yeah.
have nothing to, like I have nothing to feel bad for. So
I mean, you value your happiness, right? I mean, that meant
well,
everything to
yeah,
you.
and it's one of those things, honestly. And after I walked away, and like I said, the money was good. I was able to save to be able to walk away. But it was one of those things that like after I walked away, because like Alex was begging me to walk away for months. He was like, I don't see you. Like nobody sees you. You're so busy. And like I was falling asleep like on the couch with the lights on.
Yeah.
Like it was literally like I was there. And he was like, he was like, and he was like, the more you put into it, like the less you get out of it. It feels like with this job, like you're killing yourself. And like, you know, like, and sometimes I felt appreciated, but like considering everything I did, I didn't,
Yeah.
as much. So I did. I was there. And basically when that happened, I'll never forget it. I was like, because I was basically like requested like 5 or 6 times that same day to sign it. And I was like, I can't go into work tomorrow without getting pressured to sign this. And like,
Yeah.
I remember I texted Alex. I was like, I don't feel comfortable signing this. He was like, don't. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like, yeah, pretty much. He was like, nope, like
Crazy
just don't.
story.
He was like, if this is what you have to do, I support you 100%. Do it. And I was like, shit. Like, okay.
Wow.
So I
Man.
had my laptop. I logged out all my shit, had my card, my keys, all that. I literally sat there, typed up, and I remember I left it on her desk and I left. It was wild.
Who's got your position now? Do you know anybody that has your position
I
right
don't
now?
think anybody has my position right now.
Wow, it's just there on
I
the open.
think maybe there was like an assistant who might have it now who like started not long before I left. So she might to some
Okay.
extent. But I also like I don't know how it's doing. Like I said, I blocked it on all fronts, so I have no idea.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
no, it really is, man.
yeah.
It was wild. Because I didn't, you poured yourself into something for 2 years and then
Yeah.
and it was shitty to like walk away, but I was there. And I'm so happy I did because I literally feel like I lost like 2 years.
Yeah. Like sort of like COVID, right? It was like a dark cloud. Like it
Yeah.
never
And like
happened.
right after COVID, like I feel
Yeah.
like I lost a bunch of time with COVID. And then I like immediately right after COVID, I jumped into this job.
Right.
And then I literally like didn't have a social life. Like I never saw I barely saw anybody. I still haven't seen my parents' house down south.
To this day.
Yeah, to this day.
Wow.
Well, I
Look at
actually
that.
tried to go see it in February, but my mom was being a pain in the ass. So I did not see it in February, but I'm
Yeah.
going to see it at some point. But yeah, like all these things I was like trying to do and like people, cuz like my grandparents are pretty old now. Like I just have my grandmothers left now and one of them lives in Florida and like other people, there's just like people that you try to see and it's not even like you're taking off crazy work. Like I'd be like, "Hey, do you mind if I maybe like take a Friday to go try to do this?" And she'd say yes, but then like it was just always a problem.
Deep
So I was
down
like,
is
you
a
know what?
pain.
Like I just can't see anybody.
Yeah.
And like I'm just because I'm so tired because of like how much I'm working and everything I'm doing. By the time you get home, you're just dead.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
now that I'm out of that, that's why I'm so happy with the thing with my sister, like moving forward is just a little more freedom and a little more time. And I've genuinely just been taking like the in between. Like I'm still working at a bar a couple days a week just so like I'm doing something.
Right.
But like just getting the house ready. Now I'm planning my wedding. Like
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I'm actually living for the first time in like
In a
a
long
while
time.
because I was
Yeah.
doing school like crazy and
Yeah.
then this and like whatever. So this is the most free time I've had in 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't put a price on happiness, that's for
No,
sure.
no,
Yeah.
it's nuts.
Yeah. How did you become a Yankee fan? First Yankee game. How much do you remember? How much do you miss the old Yankee Stadium?
I do miss the old Yankee Stadium because it
We
was
all do.
fantastic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember my first Yankee game.
Okay.
I know the first game I ever went to, weirdly enough, was a Mets game.
Okay.
Fun
Fun fact.
Random fun fact.
Okay.
Because my grandmother's neighbor had season tickets and she was like a bleeding diehard Mets fan.
Right.
Nancy, loved her. And she took me to go see my first ever game, and it was a Mets game. And we had a great time, like truly. But my first Yankee game, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember, but I've been to a million in the
Right.
old stadium and the new
Sure.
stadium. Like, especially now with having more free time, like me and Alex,
Yeah.
like he's a teacher, so he gets out at like 3. And if
Right.
there's like a 7:05 game and the weather's nice, it's like, hey, you want to go?
Yeah,
Yes, let's
sure.
go. Like, and I love being able to do that now.
Right.
But yeah, I've had a couple cool. I was there right before Jeter's I wish I was at Jeter's last game. I wasn't at his last game, but I was right before Jeter's last game. And then one of my funny cheesecake stories too is I legitimately had beef with Mariano Rivera because if you remember, he would request me on Sundays.
Yeah.
And it would be him and his family. And it's not that they were bad. I didn't mind. They were actually so sweet. They would come during shift change every single Sunday. So I would like have plans after work or something, but they would come and then you can't leave. You can't be like, oh, sorry, Mo. Gotta go. Like, like whatever. Yeah. So they would get me stuck there for like 2 hours after my shift all the time. So I had complete one-sided beef with Mariano Rivera. He was the nicest guy too. And I felt bad, but I was like, you're also killing me, sir. Yeah. Every single Sunday. Every single Sunday. And then I would get yelled at. They'd be like, you're going to hit overtime. And I'd be like, Mariano Rivera.
Who was your favorite Yankee player of all time? Or you prefer like a top 5 Yankee player list?
Top 5 is hard. My top, and I think it's just because I grew up to him and I thought he was the best thing since sliced bread my entire life, Derek Jeter.
Okay.
It's just like one of those, like I was born in 95. I grew up my entire life to Derek Jeter. I remember like watching him walk out of that stadium like a legend.
Yeah.
And I have a funny asthma attack story. I almost died because of Derek Jeter once. When I was a child, it was the Yankee game where Jeter jumped over the wall basically to like grab the ball.
They were playing Boston, right? Yes, they were playing Boston. Yeah. I remember that.
My dad was glued to the TV. My mom gets so pissed. My dad will probably be pissed about the story. I was having an asthma attack, but Jeter was like busy making one of like the best plays of his entire career. And it was like a crazy game. That whole game was like a wild game. I don't remember it well because I was like 3 and literally dying. But I was having an asthma attack and my dad was like locked in. And my mom came home. She only went to grab like groceries. My dad was sitting on the couch with me. It's not like he just like was nowhere near me. I was just like, he just thought I was sick and like sleeping, but I woke up because I was having an asthma attack, but I couldn't talk because I was having an asthma attack.
Right,
so I was trying to be like, Dad, but it was like, Dad. So like he couldn't hear anything and he had the TV like blasting and he was just locked in, which honestly being older, I get.
Yeah.
And my mom came and I was like having a whole asthma attack and I had to go to the hospital for 2 days and it was a whole thing. But that's like my funny Derek. I think it's hysterical. But that's like my Derek Jeter story.
That's when the Yankees and Red Sox had that rivalry back then before they won.
Oh my God, no. And that was like prime time.
Yeah.
Prime time. Yeah. So my dad was just locked in. So that's how Derek Jeter almost killed me by being a legend. But him, I obviously love Judge. Watching him break the record was cool. I remember being at Cheesecake and I kept asking you for bar 4 or G1 so that I could see the TV until he breaks his record.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I always had a soft spot in my heart. People can hate, people can love. I always defended Brett Gardner to the very end. I feel terrible for him with that recent.
With his son, terrible.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
But I love Brett Gardner. Like I've always loved Brett Gardner. And then Mo, gotta love Mariano. Not even like just even as a pitcher, I just loved him. I'm trying to think of who my number 5 would be.
So you got Jeter, Mo, Brett. You got 3.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like who else of just like people that I like love because it's a hard list. Because
it's a tough list.
I'll say top 3. I'll give them my top 3. I don't know who else I want to put. I have like random people I love that didn't even last that long. Like when Didi Gregorius was on the team, I love Didi.
Yeah.
A bunch of people hated Didi, and I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I love Didi, and like when it was specifically like, I feel like I had like single game experiences where like I'd be at a game where they just killed it, and I'd be like, even if you play a shitty game tomorrow, like because of the way you just played, like I'm a fan. And that's kind of like how I operate. Where people, like, I get you have to have like the long standing, like don't get me wrong, like I even liked Daniel Jones for a minute
Oh,
because I
gosh.
watched him and
Yeah.
what I liked about him is he would make like the running plays where like I felt
Okay.
like Eli would like throw himself to the ground. I like that Daniel Jones would
He
actually
took
like
off.
run and try to
Took
go
off.
for it, and he was young, and like I just
Right.
appreciated that he like had that like that energy.
Yeah.
Obviously it did not pan out, and like over time I was like, all right, Daniel Jones, I'm starting to kind of hate you. This sucks.
Your time
But
is
like
up.
certain people,
Yeah.
if I'm there for a really good game or something, like I'll
Right.
be a fan for life.
Yeah. Those memories stick with you for a long
Yeah.
time. No championships in 16 years. When's the drought going to end for us
I
Yankee
don't even get
fans?
me started. I was at the game. We were talking. I was at the game on Friday, and
Yeah.
it was just freezing and brutal. Luckily, I was undercover
Yeah.
because it was raining the entire time. But my dad like randomly won tickets, and yeah, we ended up going. And literally 5 runs in the
The
first
first inning. Yeah.
first
Yeah.
inning. That
Yeah.
was brutal.
Yeah.
And then they got two or three more, I think, three more in like the fourth or fifth. And I just remember sitting there with my dad and we were freezing.
Yeah.
And it was raining the entire time. And we're
Right.
like, we're definitely going to get a rain delay. And then finally, after they got those 3 runs and we went up at bat, me and my dad looked at me. He was like, you ready? And I was like, let's get the hell
We're
out of
out.
here. Yes. And as we were walking out of the stadium, the rain delay popped up. And I don't think they like resumed playing. So
I think it was over after the 6th inning. It was done.
yeah,
They
that's
called
what it
off.
was.
Yeah,
But
they
right
called it.
before they called the rain delay, me and my dad were already like halfway across the stadium walking to the
Wow.
car. So we were like, nice.
We're out.
So we beat all the traffic,
Yeah, that's
which
nice.
was legit.
Yeah. Toss Juan Soto going to the Mets. You think he comes back? He can opt out in 5 years. Mets win the championship in 5 years. You want him back? Would you take him back?
I don't want him back. I don't care. I'm pissed
Yeah.
at Juan Soto for that. That
So
was
am I.
greed.
He seems like he's not the same player when he was with the Yankees, right? With the
No,
Mets.
and I don't want him in
Quiet.
5 years. He's not going to be good in 5 years. You know, like even if he's like good, he's not going to be like now. You know, he would have been on my top 5 had he not done that.
Oh,
I'm
there you
pissed at
go.
Juan
There you
Soto.
go. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that was like straight greed.
Yeah. A lot of money. Got a lot of money.
I
Better
know he
season.
did.
Better
Good for him.
season.
But like,
Yeah. Yeah. A terrible choice.
yeah.
Better
No,
season. Mets or Yankees? How much do you hate the Mets, by the way?
I don't hate the Mets.
Okay.
I don't. I know a lot of Mets people. I know Megan White hates the Yankees.
Yes, she
But
does.
no, I know a lot of Mets people like hate Yankees because like your team's a sellout and you just buy the best players. Even though what was that Juan Soto move, Mets fans?
Yeah.
But we see you. But I do respect Mets because I'm not gonna lie, they have a better fan experience at their stadiums. They do. I tried to deny it for years.
Yeah.
Citi Field is wonderful.
The food's good too.
It's delicious. Like
Yeah.
I actually like not. Unfortunately, it's not like I'm really going to Mets games. I've been going to a lot of concerts there recently.
Okay.
Wonderful. Like I'm so sorry. Like I love the Yankees, but all it is like chicken fingers and
Yeah.
like you have the halal guys thing and it's okay and whatever. Like their fan and the prices are like reasonable, I feel. And like they have like actual fan experience. Yankees, I feel I love the Yankees and they know who they are. It's a money grab.
Right.
Where the
That's what it
Mets,
is.
it's really like I just feel like the stadium looks nicer. They do concerts way more often than Yankee Stadium, and I just feel like it's way more of a fan-friendly place. So I don't hate
Yeah.
the Mets. I really don't at all. I hate Juan Soto of the Mets, but I do not hate the Mets.
I think I would take him back after 5 years, though. I don't know.
You would
It's a
take him
weird
back?
feeling. Yeah, I got a weird feeling about it. I don't think they're going to win a championship in 5 years, so he most likely will opt out.
Have you seen
That's-
the jerseys? It'll be like his number and the S, and then it'll
the
say like,
S sellout,
with
sellout?
tape.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the
Yeah.
opening day. I was there
Talk
opening
about
day.
this. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Like,
Thought-
don't get me wrong, I get it. It's just like I feel like you did so much with this team and came up, and it's not like they offered him like a shitty contract.
Right.
You know, like you were
Yeah.
offered a very good contract, and then you just and I get it, like you're gonna want to go with the more money, but like loyalty has to play somewhere. I don't know.
Somewhere. He's like a mercenary, that guy. He's all
Yeah.
about his money. He's all about
It's
his money.
even I'm not a fan. I'm not gonna pretend I know what I'm talking about. But the guy with the Mavs Lakers,
Luka Doncic. Yeah.
so fucked up.
Yeah. That's I love
Obviously, that was a
I
different.
love the move
situation.
because I'm a Laker fan because I love LeBron James, but
Yeah,
that's crazy. I would
I
never
saw him
trade.
play finally. We
Yeah.
went to one of the Knicks games, and I finally saw LeBron play. I've never seen LeBron play, so I was very happy to
Nice.
see him. Yeah, that was cool.
Awesome. Thoughts on the torpedo bats blown out of proportion because the Yankees are using it?
Well, I
It's
think
kind of
that's
quiet
fine.
down right now, right?
It is quiet right now because we're not doing very good. You know, I think that's what shut them
When
up.
you
If
win,
we were
it's like a
killing
lot of
it-
noise, right? When you lose, it's like no one cares.
No, exactly. When we were killing it,
Yeah.
All we heard. Now that we're sucking, obviously,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not the torpedo bets.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not a torpedo bet.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
That's the
of
thing.
course. It's because we the opening day went so well in the following game, and everybody was like,
Right.
"Oh, the bats," and now we're still the Yankees. We're
Yeah.
still fighting for our lives. So
It's hilarious.
give it time. We'll drop the ball.
You a fan of Aaron Boone? Your thoughts on Aaron Boone? Good manager? Meh? Mid?
Mid,
Yeah.
mid. I don't. I know a lot of people like hate his guts. I know a lot of people like him. Do I think it's funny he gets ejected all the time?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll give the man that he has passion. But sometimes, like, I feel like a couple years ago I was like, I fucking hate Aaron Boone, like, da 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 da. Over the years, like, I don't think about it much
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like he's like less in the news now. I feel like he used to be like constantly, and I was like, this guy is like unbearable. Now I'm kind of like, all right, like he's gonna be there for a little while.
Right.
Like whatever I feel or say, like nothing's gonna happen. So
How far do you see our Yankees going this season? Playoffs, first round exit, second
oh
round,
God, I
World
pray for the
Series.
playoffs every single time. Maybe we can get a nice little wild card. Because I swear that's our way.
Yeah.
Us
Yeah.
and the Giants. Oh my God. We always need a
Yeah.
wild card.
Yeah.
Not even the Giants for years either, but it saved our ass a couple times. I would hope so. We have a pretty good team this year. I would love to see us go to the playoffs. I hope we go to the playoffs every year. Every year I say we're
Yeah.
going to. And
Yeah.
then like halfway through the season, I'm
Yeah.
like, I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them. And then they'll play
Yeah.
like really good, but it's
Yeah.
already too late.
Yeah.
So like I never know. I hope. I always hope.
That's all it is.
And even if the Mets got in, I would root for the Mets. Like a New York team, I'm always good with.
Chasing number 28. Who's gonna have the better season this year, Mets or Yankees?
That's a good question. Has to be the Yankees. Just
Okay.
because, like,
Just
literally,
because you're
just
a
as a
fan, right?
Yankee fan,
Yeah.
it has to be the
Yeah.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Has to be.
You're talking about a real cool moment with LeBron James. That game, you finally saw LeBron James. I just remember when you were talking about that, how we ended up going to a game for MLS and we saw Messi for the first time. That was a random moment,
That
right?
was random, and you guys were there. I remember because you
Yeah.
like texted me or something like, "Lily, I'm here." I was like, "Where are you?" I end up. So Alex's thing is
Yeah.
historic sports moments. Like
Yeah.
we're going
Yeah.
to WrestleMania. We leave on Wednesday.
Right.
Like he's just such a diehard sports fan, like
Right.
just through and through and through. His New York teams, like that is his bread and butter.
Right.
So the Messi thing, I don't even know he was into soccer. Every sport though, like literally, Alex has been to like the
Yeah.
U.S. Open. Like Alex just goes to anything.
That was a big deal, right? Because that was Messi's first
It was
time
a
ever in New
huge
York
deal.
coming.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
a big
his
deal. It was
first time.
packed
Yeah,
stadium, sold out.
yeah. No, the tickets were wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ridiculous. Fun fact about
Yeah.
that is it was like Red Bull's arena, right?
Yeah, Red Bull's Arena. That's when I met Alex for the first time. I was like, "Who's this
Yes.
guy?" And it was like that kind of moment. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Alex's brother, Jason, is a die-hard Red Bulls fan. Season tickets, the whole nine,
Wow.
die-hard. Like he goes to every single Red Bulls game. Like we even joke, like, is our wedding date okay? Like he is like, he's literally like that.
Yeah.
That's he tailgates, he has so many friends. He
Right.
goes to like sporting events left and right, but he literally like Red Bulls he prioritizes over everything. So that is very much Jay's thing. So I've been to a few Red Bulls games
Right.
like over the years now because like
Okay.
of Jay, and he has friends because like it's such like a niche thing, I swear, that like all the others and those people are diehard fans, like Red
Yeah,
Bulls
they are.
fans,
They are.
they are into it.
They're into it. Yeah.
Yeah, like hard. So he has a bunch of other friends that have season tickets because they all see each other all the games and stuff. So we got really lucky. Like one of his friends, I just think she didn't like screw us on tickets. Like the way that tickets were wild. She was like, because one of his friends has like a bunch of season tickets to like everything. It's actually insane. So I think she does that for like the crazy games. She can make some money on them, but also she can offer them around. So
Right.
she like randomly blessed us because Alex like reached out and he was like, Jay, like tell me one of your friends has like extra tickets. Like,
Yeah.
please, like I want to see Messi so bad. And he was like,
Right.
I'm gonna figure it out for you. And then yeah, you and Emerson were there, and I was so
Yeah.
happy to see you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like such a funny coincidence.
Yeah. What are the odds of that happening?
Yeah, and we were right in front of the goalpost, like where
Yeah.
he scored. I remember because like I'm not gonna pretend to know shit about soccer. Like I
Right.
know that Messi's a big deal, and like
Right. For
he
sure.
started small and like just all that practice, and like I know his story. I know of him.
Right.
But yeah, being right there, like I don't know shit, and like watching him score that goal right in front of my face, I was like, that was a big deal. Like that was really cool, and I'm happy I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty cool story.
yeah.
Speaking of which, what happened to our Rangers this season? GM, coach, players, inconsistent 5-on-5. I mean, too much heavy production on the line. You have like Artem Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, Adam Fox. I
Mhm.
mean, top heavy, but the bottom guys don't really do much. Like this season was such a disappointing season, right?
That's kind of
Terrible,
the
right?
vibes. I feel like
Yeah,
out the gate, I feel like last season,
right.
last 2 seasons were actually
It's been
pretty
really
exciting.
good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and I just know, like, because once again, hockey I keep up with mainly through him. I do enjoy hockey, but
right.
I'm a newer hockey fan. Like, I am, like,
Okay.
the past, like, couple years of a hockey fan. He's, like, diehard forever. His brother and mother were at that game actually where,
Oh, really?
he beat Gretzky. What's his name?
Oh,
Thank you.
Ovechkin,
I
Alex
can't
Ovechkin,
pronounce his name for the life of me, but yes.
895
Yes,
goals.
I
Yeah,
was
that was a pretty cool moment. That was pretty cool.
Alex's brother was at the game,
Yeah,
called Alex to see if
right.
he wanted a ticket to come with him. Alex was
Really?
working, missed the call. His brother never texted him to
Mm,
tell him like why he called him. Alex never asked. And then his mom, like very casually the other day on the phone, was like, oh yeah, I was at that game. And like his mother, like, she's a sports fan and she cares, but Alex is like, why wouldn't you have texted me and told me what that call
jeez.
was for? Like, are you kidding me? And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Wow.
Um, Sorry to go off track, but that
You're good.
cracked me up the other day.
Yeah.
Uh, he was so mad. Um, what happened, like with them, I feel like you keep thinking like, okay, this lineup is pristine. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like when they do the drafts and stuff, you're like, we're getting good players. Like, I really feel like we're in a good place to like take it there. And like, I know they've been dying for a cup.
94 since 94.
I
Yeah.
know. And you keep getting like so close and then like just dropping the ball. And then
Yeah.
this past season, it wasn't even that. Like at least the last two, you
Yeah.
felt like you had a shot. You felt like you had a shot where now, like, just not
Not
doing it.
there.
Like, I don't know what the
I
season
feel like
was,
they
like,
just kind of
honestly.
quit. They just kind of gave up, right? It feels like.
Yeah, it did feel that way because it was
Yeah.
just not going well. And then it was like, all right, well, it's not happening. So, and
Yeah.
that was literally like the vibe
I
I got.
remember that's why I've been a fan since about 92, 93, 94. I loved hockey back in the day. I don't watch it as much. I watch, the classic is pretty cool. And then the
Yeah.
the tournaments with the different countries is pretty cool as well too.
Hmm.
But I'm always gonna bleed red, white, and blue for the my Rangers, man. But since
No, 100%.
'94, that team was so magical, man. Messier and Richter and Adam Graves and Brian
Yeah.
Leach. Just takes me back and just so sad to see they just can't get it together. Like you said, they were so close. They made a couple finals, lost. Been so close. We're there. We just took a complete drop off. Just like
No,
really
exactly.
disheartening.
And it's rough because it's
Yeah,
like, like you want nothing more. And then it just like, I swear to
yeah,
God, like
yeah,
you're rooting for them so hard and every single, like the Yankees recently just keep
yeah,
getting let down. It's
yeah.
rough. It's hard being
It's
a New
it's
York
it's
sports fan.
crazy. You think they win a cup in our lifetime? The our beloved Rangers here.
They have to.
They have
I'm
to, right?
also
At some
like just
point.
aggressively, weirdly like optimistic with my teams. I'm like pessimistic with everything else. And then it's like my sports times and I'm like, my sports teams, and I'm like, they have to.
Yeah,
They'll do it for us.
yeah. I just love Sam Rosen. His voice is so synonymous with the New York Rangers. Like I
Hmm.
just hear his voice and as a kid in like junior high, high school, growing up. He's phenomenal. He's retiring this year, and
Yeah.
it's never going to be the same without him. I'm gonna miss that guy for sure. Calling
No, it
those
is gonna
Ranger
be odd.
games, but
That's starting to happen with like certain things now. It's like, yeah, all your people you
yeah,
have
I think we're
forever.
getting older, right? Like it
It's
seems like
yeah, it's
right,
happening.
they're either passing away or like just retiring and just gone, like just
Jeopardy isn't
vanishing.
Alex Trebek anymore. Like there's
Yeah,
certain things where it's like,
certain-
damn, like
yeah,
that was,
the
and like the
norm.
ones that are retiring and because there was something at the Yankee game the other day. One of the sports announcers are retiring. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy, right?
it is.
Surreal.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, your beloved Giants, right? I
Oh, God.
mean, how did they fall from grace? Who had the worst season, by the way, the Giants or the Rangers? That was pretty brutal in both parts, right?
It's been a
Pretty
rough year.
close. It's been a
It
rough
is
year.
close. I would say honestly neck and neck.
Yeah. I mean, I know you love your Giants, you love your G-men.
The
What
past couple of
happened?
years have been
Talk
hard.
about a fall from grace. I mean, thoughts on Saquon going to Philly. Were you happy to see him go? Were you happy that he left? Happy that he won?
I have like mixed feelings with that because honestly, that was a thing where he was like, I felt like so initially when it was announced, I was actually happy for him. I
Okay.
was like, I'm annoyed that you went to the Eagles, like you bastard. But like, because
Same division, right?
I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
Eagles. You're like a level-headed Eagles fan, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
The
I appreciate
Philly
that.
Eagles, like,
They're tough. They're tough. They're tough. Yeah.
my God. Like last
Yeah.
time I went to a Giants Eagles game, like people were literally like fist fight. So, and this is gonna sound like so douchey, and I don't mean it to sound douchey. I usually get club seats. I don't know how my dad, one of his friends, just gets club seats and
It's all
would
about
give
who
us
you know. It
tickets.
comes full circle, man.
Exactly. So
It comes
they
full
give us
circle.
tickets all the time. And the
Yeah.
club, you're always sitting next to the same people who also just go to and they're not like assholes.
Right.
We ended up in like Gen Pop, um, what you call it, for an Eagles game. And they
Yeah.
were great seats once again.
Right.
There were fist fights and people getting kicked out all around me. It was crazy. And mind you, we're like right by like the goal. Like we had crazy seats. It's actually,
Right.
I was like, these seats are so much better than our normal seats.
Yeah.
People were literally fist fighting. I watched more people get ejected than any game I've ever been to in my life.
Wow.
I've been to Red Sox, Yankees, I've been to everything.
Right.
More people than God got ejected next to me. At one point, there was a guy, like 5 people from me in my row, and he starts arguing with like the person in the row in front of him. And I think the person in my row was a Giants fan, and the person in the row in front was an Eagles fan. And they're going back and forth. And I think they're going to start fighting because everything's pointing to like they're about
Yeah.
to start fighting.
Right.
Shout out to the people sitting right next to me because they're both wearing ponchos. Dude takes his beer and hucks it, but it goes. The poor lady right next to me just gets whacked. But she was wearing a poncho. So A, she took the beer and I didn't. B, her poncho protected me from all of the beer pour. So this poor woman got nailed. She saved my life.
Man.
And then he got ejected immediately. It was just chaotic as shit the
Yeah.
last time I went to that
For
game.
sure.
But the Saquon thing, I was happy for him generally because I don't see the Giants getting a Super Bowl like this year, next year, whatever. Saquon is in his prime and he 100% deserves. I felt bad for him because he's sitting there like literally like carrying the team on his back a lot of these games. He dropped the ball a couple times, but there was a lot of games where like he was the only one scoring, like whatever. And it's just not fair to have that good of a player on a
Yeah.
shitty team.
Kind of wasting his good years, right? Wasting
Exactly. And like he has everything in him to be a Super Bowl winner. And I was happy for him to win the Super Bowl on his birthday and all that stuff because like don't get me wrong, like not an Eagles person, but I was like he deserved that.
Yeah.
But my mixed feeling comes from what the hell's the show? The in the locker room. What is it?
Oh, Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said like the Giants like just like didn't offer him and like this and that, and it was like up in the air. And then there was that interview and the thing where the Giants did offer him some type of thing. He kind of just chose to go to the Eagles. So like a side of me was like, well, you're blaming it on this, and that's like not really what happened. But then again, looking at the team right now,
Yeah.
I get it. I want to be more mad, but I truly like he has so much on tap potential that
Right.
like he should have his like moment. He deserves it. But I
Thoughts
do
on-
love Saquon Barkley at the end of the day. I've been rooting for that bastard since he started. I was so happy when we had him, and I was sad to see him go.
Yeah. Thoughts on Eli? Love him? Hate him?
I love Eli Manning. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, I do.
Okay.
He's like the most unlikely person, but like I just think he's funny. I've like enjoyed watching some of his YouTube stuff. His like episode with Pete Davidson was hysterical.
Yeah.
And just overall, like I just like also love the memes where it's like the only person to like take Tom Brady down, like and all those things. And it's like he's just such like an average dude
Yeah.
that I just think makes it like a little more funny. Towards the end, I wasn't loving him because I was like, all right, Eli, like it is time to retire. Like,
hang it up.
please, for the love of God, like
Right.
retire. Like his last, like I'm gonna say 2-3 seasons. I was like, all right, Eli, like please.
Yeah.
But overall, like he still got us some Super Bowl wins, and I think he's like a good guy with a good head on his shoulders and like
Sure.
loved his team and all that stuff. So I like Eli. I know there's like some Eli haters, but I liked Eli.
Yeah. Giants gonna be irrelevant in how many years from now?
They just need to literally focus on like rebuilding right now. Like I feel like obviously like drafting all-stars and this and that, we're not in the place where we should be drafting all-stars right now. Honestly, like just realistically, we need to be like building right now. I think we're like in the middle. We're in the middle of a start over essentially. and they just need to like train them, see that through, and like build an actual cohesive team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years.
4 to 5 years. The draft is
I
coming
hope.
up.
I
Draft smart.
pray. I hope. We've been patient for this many years.
Yeah.
Their last strategy didn't work out. Obviously, we're in like a planning phase. I just hope that they really put their heads together. We get,
Right.
you know, a cohesive team that works together and like has like chemistry and could just make it happen, because we are not there right now. We're not.
Yeah. How much do you hate the Cowboys?
So much. Cowgirls. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I was gonna say, actually,
Yeah.
I was leaving my Eagles hate. I am a
Yeah.
huge Cowboys fan hater.
Yeah.
Fun fact: the little club that I sit in when I go to my Giants game,
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is a tier up behind me every single time.
Really?
Yeah, me and my dad give him the finger sometimes.
Oh man.
People talk shit to Jerry Jones at Giants games so bad.
You hear
That
a lot
man
of
is getting
profanity,
screamed.
right?
Oh my God, that man gets screamed. I don't even know why he goes. I really don't. I don't know how he does it. One time, the best one, right? Like, I obviously some time had passed because it was after COVID, but like Chris Christie was there, like the governor who was like
Yeah,
had a private beach during COVID.
Yeah, I heard
Everybody
about
was
that.
like shitting on this guy. One time we went to like one of the Cowboys game, and behind us was like, it's not like directly, it's up a level, but like if you turn around and look, they're right behind
Yeah,
you.
right behind you.
Jerry Jones and Chris Christie. I have never seen two people get screamed at
As
for
much as they did.
hours. The whole time. I don't even know who noticed they were there first. Me and my dad, like, basically whenever the Cowboys are there, we're like, Jerry Jones is likely behind us, and we look up and he is every single
Yeah.
time. I think one game he wasn't, that he didn't attend, but like every time he's right there. This
Right.
one time we just so happened to look back, and it was Chris Christie and Jerry Jones, and everybody the whole game, you piece of shit. It was crazy. And me and my dad were just like,
You
this
guys
is
ever
wild.
chime in? You guys ever say anything back, like, to those guys?
We've never screamed at them. We've definitely done like, we've taken a selfie and been like, but like we've never like chimed in. We're not, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's
Right.
like Mr. Reserved. So
Yeah.
because he's like a hater, but he's quiet.
That's hilarious.
So I just thought that was really funny. I was like, Dad, Jerry Jones. He's like, fuck Jerry Jones.
Man, your fiance Alex, right? Crazy story. You're a season ticket holder with your dad.
Yeah.
And he was a season ticket holder as well for so many years. You guys went to
Yes.
so many games together, sat 2 rows away from each other. It's a
Mhm.
crazy story. Your dads have things in common as well. The boat thing, the retirement thing.
Yes.
How did you guys finally meet? Alex, how did you finally meet him? And do you tell him that crazy story? He was like, what? He couldn't believe it, right? When he first told him that
Yeah,
story.
we both were like, the way it happened was like super funny. So we ended up meeting on Hinge, like funny enough.
Yeah.
I literally like I had like the dating apps for a little bit just because like I was single, and it's not like I like went on them every day, but every
Yeah.
now and again I would like, and like never worked out ever.
Dating is hard these days. It's hard out there. It's hard.
Oh my God,
Weird.
I
The
am
world's
so
weird.
happy to like not have to do that again.
Good
It's
for you. Yeah.
rough, dude.
Yeah.
Because I was in a relationship for a while before that, and then like before that I had Tinder for maybe like 3 months. Never really used it. Never went on a Tinder date before in my life, actually. Fun fact. But that was like the only dating app then. And then I was in a relationship for a bit. And then when I was no longer in that, I came out of it, and I was like, oh, like, and I was single for a little while. And then I was like, okay, like maybe I'll download the apps again, like just to look, because it's so
Yeah.
hard to meet people now too, especially I was working so much
Right.
and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, like, you know, I'll give it a shot. And all I knew was Tinder, but I know Tinder is now like just a hookup app, basically. Like
Okay.
back when it was kind of a hookup app, but it was also a dating app. Flash forward, it is totally now just a hookup app. Because like I had that shit for like fucking a week, and I got some of the most disturbing messages I've ever seen for a week, and I deleted that. So I was like, this is vile. I was like, people are
Man.
disgusting, and I deleted
Yeah.
it. It was very funny. But Hinge, I learned, I never used Hinge in my life. I literally saw the commercials, and they're like, this one's more for dating. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank God. So I got that one. And like I said, I just had it on my phone, but I didn't use it religiously. So like Alex like popped up at one point, and thought he was cute, whatever. But like liked a picture. But by the way, I'm not like a message starter. I'm not ever gonna be like, hey there. Like, no. Like, so I liked a picture, and that was my like message me or I'll never talk to you again.
Yeah.
And that was that. So like literally about a month later, I went on 1 or 2 dates with this one guy. And I was like, this is like just I'm good on dating. Like I only went and like I went to a couple bars and like there was a couple like, oh, like, do you want my number and this and that? And I was like, maybe this is like a better approach for me. These people don't
Yeah.
seem awesome, but it's a
Right.
little more like fun. And like, I don't know, like the online, I feel like even when I went on the one date with the person I met on Hinge, I was just like, I felt so awkward and I felt so nervous, like going to meet somebody like at a like bar and all this stuff. And I'm like, gotta meet
Right.
in public so I don't get killed. Like, like just stupid stuff. So yeah, not my cup of tea. And then yeah, that date, I went on 2 dates with this dude and it was like not it at all. It was
Yeah.
comical
Yeah.
actually how not it was.
Yeah.
And I remember that and I was like, like after that or whatever. And like, I don't go on the apps. Like, if I'm like going on a date with somebody, I'm not gonna like go and be like, who else can I talk to? Like, I'm not a scumbag. So I was like,
Right.
but this guy, I was like, yeah, no. So deaded that. And then I like didn't even open the app for like a couple weeks. And I was like, yeah, like, and then finally I was like, you know what? Like, I'm about to graduate school. Um, I'm going to be applying for a bunch of jobs. I'm going to apply to places like not even in New York. I applied to in New York, of course. I would have stayed, but like if I get a crazy offer in California or something
Right.
like that, I'm going.
You're gone. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Like maybe I will just stay single for a bit. Like, and I'm cool with it, honestly. Like I was in a relationship for a long time. I was single for at that point about a year and a half. And
Okay.
I was like, I'm kind of just vibing. And like I'm cool being single. Like I really, really am. I got my dogs, I got my friends, like
Yeah.
I'm chilling.
Chilling.
So I went on Hinge fully with the intention to delete the app. And then Alex messaged me. And it sounds stupid, but there was like something, he just seemed so like nice and like genuinely kind and like not a piece of garbage. Where like most of these people on these apps, you're like, okay, like what's
Yeah, they
your
are.
angle? Or like,
Right.
are you talking to 17 people? And are you,
Yeah.
So there was just something about it where he just seemed like genuinely nice. And he messaged me and he was like, hey, and it was like the most like straightforward message where he's like, hey, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't think he explained it like right off in his first message. I think he told me it like a little after. He was like, I was on a couple dates with somebody and I don't like doing that. So like he was like, and then it didn't work out, and then I saw you and I really wanted to message you. I literally was on it to delete the app and saw his message,
Wow.
and I was like, fuck, and I was like, hi, like, whatever. We end
Typical
up,
Carrie response.
yeah, like
Yeah.
literally, we end up like hitting it off as soon as we started messaging. He
Yeah.
asked me on a date within like a day or two.
Wow.
And then which like bold as shit. Um and I remember I was like, okay, you know what? We exchanged numbers at this point, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I will go on a date with this guy. I will delete Hinge. If it doesn't work out, for real, like actually for real, like I'm chilling. Like I am
Yeah.
so good. So then we went on a date. We went to like a coffee place, and we literally were together ever since. But then later on, now we're like dating. Um, he gets Giants tickets and he invites me to a Giants game because we
Yeah.
started dating like late August.
Right.
So season starts soon, whatever. He's like, oh, do you want to go to this like Giants game or whatever? And I also had tickets and I was going to ask him if he wanted to go. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, I was like, I also have tickets. Like, I didn't want to sound like a douche, but like my tickets are pretty good. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, where are your tickets?
Yeah.
And he was like, mine are here. And it was like section like 235 or something. He was like, where are your tickets? And I was like, mine are in 233. I was like, I'm in like the Toyota club, like, which is like a little bit of a flex
Yeah.
at least, like
Yeah.
whatever. And he was like, I'm also in the Toyota club, like whatever. So I think we ended up using his tickets because he is closer to like the center or whatever.
Right.
He's a pain in my ass. But um we discovered that we literally sat two sections apart and we were in the same exact club. And those people have been there, like most of those people, like those ticket holders, like they've been there for years. It's been the
Yeah.
same people the entire time I've been going.
Right.
And like it's not just like, oh, we're two sections apart. The whole club is like everybody together. Like there's like events and stuff. And like we've been to the same events and like same stuff like several times, just sitting two sections apart.
Crazy.
And then I found out, yeah, his dad kept his boat down the street from my house, the same place that my dad kept his boat. And there was just like dumb little things
Things.
that we put together, like later on, just
Yeah.
like we were right there kind of
The whole time.
the
The
whole time
universe.
and had no
Universe.
idea.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
universe is
it
very
really was
strange.
one of those weird things between the Giants thing and then the
Yeah.
dads with the boat. It was like just like wild.
Yeah. Was there a moment you said that you just wanted to spend your rest of your life with Alex? What moment was it? You just knew that was it.
This is so stupid, but like it's so like funny. I feel like we both knew pretty quick because we were like dating like immediately. Like I said, we went on the first date and then like I remember I was like, I'll definitely like go on another date with that guy. I like that guy. Like he
Hmm.
was really nice. And he was just like a gem. Because what we did is, yeah, we went to the coffee shop, talked to the coffee shop for probably like 45 minutes. And he was like, and we were in like Pleasantville. And he was like, you want to go like look at like cute houses? And I was like, it's like fucking adorable. I would love to. So like we
Yeah.
went, we walked around, looked at cute houses. And then there was one like little wooded part of the walk where I was like, like this is where he's gonna kill me. And this is my brain. This is literally my brain. I was like, this is where
Yeah.
he's gonna
You
kill me.
have to. This day and age, you don't know, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I said like prior to approaching, I was like, are you gonna like murder? Obviously, even if he was going, he would say no. But I was like,
Yeah.
he doesn't look like he could. You know, like he looks too
Yeah.
kind. Like maybe I'm dumb. Maybe he would have killed me, but he didn't. So but yeah, then we went on our second date or whatever, like a day or two later. Like we instantly went on a second date. And that wasn't the prime moment, but that was the moment like I knew like we were gonna end up like together at least after our second date. Cause like we just like had a conversation. It was like the most real, both of us were just so genuine, like
Mhm.
literally from like date one. Like it felt like I had known him, which was like really cool.
Yeah.
And I remember like after our second date, like we just had such a nice time. Like we went and like walked around like a Rockwood Park and like Sleepy Hollow or whatever. And like I felt comfortable enough, which like I'm also just like awkward as shit. So like, and I felt comfortable and I was like, so like, why are you single? Like, what's your baggage? Like, do you have any kids? Do you have an ex-wife? Like,
Yeah.
are you like talking to 10 people? I was like, what's your sitch? And he was like, Jesus, like, no, like whatever. And we just like explained, we're like, this is like what I've been up to. This is how I ended up single. This is like how this, like we both were just in like kind of like long relationships that like
Right.
didn't work out. And it was just like very mutual and like intentions were pure. And I remember like having that conversation like so soon. And like we both just like were so real. And I was like, okay. I was like, we're like, this guy is gonna be my boyfriend. Like I already know that. And then when I kind of knew stupidly, we were playing this game called on his PC. He has like his little Steam library or whatever called Pajama Sam. And I don't know if you're familiar with Pajama Sam, but like when we first started like sleeping over and hanging out a lot, like we were like looking at like all these like dumb vintage games that were fun and we liked. And then Pajama Sam came up and I beat Pajama Sam and he was just so excited. And like it
Wow.
was like so cute. And like it was just like whatever. And I was like, fuck. I was like, shit.
It's a
Like,
little
oh no, because
things.
like I'm like, you know, I was like, oh
Mm.
no, like I love this guy. Like, and I
Yeah.
remember that. And like it
Yeah.
literally, like from there, I
It just
pretty
took
much do.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
it's,
it was literally this dumb little Flash player game made for kids. It's Pajama
yeah.
Sam. It's a kid who fights monsters in his pajamas. And I beat it and I was like, oh no, I'm in love.
It's the little things in life. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I
It's the
swear.
little things in life.
It was.
How did he propose? Did you know it was coming at all?
So like yes and no. Cause
Okay.
like we were getting so when we moved, we were looking to rent initially because like my whole thing, I was like, well, we're not engaged. Why are we gonna buy a house? Like da 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 da. Just because I'm like a nut, you know, and I loved my apartment and stuff. Um, and so we were looking and we were initially going to rent, but I just remember like prices were like crazy. And like for what you were
Yeah.
getting like garbage for so much money. And I have the two dogs, so that makes it much harder. So we went to look at like a bunch of rentals and stuff. And then kind of we're like, this is never gonna work. Like, cause literally, like I'm telling you, like all I wanted was like a micro yard. I didn't even need a huge yard. I just needed my dogs to have a place to pee. Like nothing crazy. And like it was just unachievable. Like,
Yeah.
or it was like a 2, 3 floor walk up and all this stuff. And I was like, this is getting absurd. So then that's kind of how we made the decision that we were gonna buy a house. We're like literally like the amount we will just waste in renting, like we should just buy. So that's kind of what led to that decision. And then once we were doing that, I was like, well, if I'm gonna help him design this goddamn house because we had to like renovate and do all this stuff, I was like,
Right.
I better be getting a rock on this finger. They're
Mm.
like, what are we doing?
Hmm.
So, jokingly, but like so
Right.
seriously.
Back of your
He's like,
mind,
you
but so
better fucking be
serious.
getting this. Yeah. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling it was coming. He asked me, he was like, is there a type of like ring you have in mind or something like that? So like a conversation was had where I didn't know when, but I knew like maybe this year, maybe next year, like that type of thing. So that, and then leading up to it, my only giveaway, because I really didn't know when he was going to do it, I had a feeling maybe Christmas.
Okay.
We ended up getting engaged 1 week before Christmas, December 18th, but I had a feeling it might be Christmas because my sister, I think 2 days before we got engaged, now we actually get our nails done regularly ever since I got engaged. My sister asked me to get my nails done. Never asked me to get her nails done ever. Like I would usually go either like by myself or with one of my like housemates.
Right.
Never. So randomly asked me to get my nails done. And I was like, that's suspicious. Like
Yeah.
immediately. So I immediately was like, am I getting engaged? And she's like, no. Like I just want to see if you want to get like Christmas nails or something. Like
Oh,
da, 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 da.
okay.
And I was
Right.
like, I don't believe you. But like, okay. So like we're at the nail salon and I thank God I didn't go like all out with Christmas nails. I just did like a French situation, but like it was like green and red, but it wasn't like gaudy Christmas because I could have like went ham and I'm so happy I didn't.
Right.
So whatever. We're literally like at the salon. I was like, all right, I was like, I was like, just be real. I was like, if I was getting engaged, like, would you tell me? And she was like, obviously I would tell you, like, shut up, like, da da da
Right.
da. So I was like, okay. So I had a little bit of a feeling just because of the shadiness with the nail thing.
Right.
And then she gave me, I have to give it to my sister. She gave me like some wild ass story as to like why, like, because this nail salon is really good. We go to it
Okay.
regularly now, but like
Right.
they'll do like Instagram nails. Like they do like crazy nails. And she was like, I just really wanted to try this place. It looks cool. It's Christmas. And like she like showed me a text from like 2 weeks prior with my cousin about it. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
valid, whatever. So and it's funny because I feel stupid in hindsight, but we were renovating this house at the time, and our contractor, we'd have to meet with him all the time for like once or twice a week. We'd meet up with him for like house plans and like what we need to order, like what do we want with this room, the molding, this,
Right.
this. So we and it was a Wednesday. I got engaged on a Wednesday, which like
Wow.
completely threw me because
Wow.
like I never would have guessed a
Right.
Wednesday, you know? So I had no idea the day of. None.
Mhm.
We had a regular ass day. And then we had plans at like 6 o'clock or something to meet with our contractor at our house. Also, for whatever reason, and this is why I feel dumb because I didn't question it at all. He was like, "What's your favorite restaurant? Like, if you like absolutely had to choose." And I was like, honestly, I was like, I have a couple that I really like. I was like, but on our anniversaries, we normally go to Benjamin's Steakhouse. I love Benjamin's Steakhouse. They have a
Yeah.
damn good tomahawk. So I was like, if I had to like pick anything like just
Yeah.
to do, because also
Right.
Terrytown, it was very close. I was like, I would say like Benjamin's. I was like, I can go for like a steak moment. He was like, cool. He was like, I was thinking like we do a date night. Like we've been so busy with like the renovations and like
Right.
blah, 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 blah. Christmas is about to be crazy. And I was like, oh, you know what? Like that sounds really nice. Let's do that. So everything normal. I moved in because my lease went up. And while the house was finishing renovations, I moved in with him and his housemate in Terrytown. So,
Mhm.
like, Danny, our old housemates, treat me completely normal. He's treating me, everybody's just like so normal all day. I think nothing of it. Um, thank God I threw myself together a little bit because I was like, I looked like I forgot what I was doing, but I was doing shit. Like, I was like putting work in all day, like
Right.
packing and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, oh God, I'm going to Benjamin's. I don't want to look like garbage. So I threw myself barely together and ran out the door. We pull into the driveway and there's no cars, nothing, had no idea. I hear my dog bark outside. My dog wouldn't have been in our house being renovated. She would have been in Terrytown.
Right.
And so
Huh.
we're walking up to the front door and I like look at Alex and I was like, this sounds just like Abby. Like whatever. And he was like, that's weird, like whatever. And he's like clearly panicking, but I was like,
Right.
huh. I was like, I wonder if the neighbor, has a dog that sounds just like our dog. But like I know my dog's bark. I can pick it
Right.
out of a lineup. So I was like,
Right.
that's weird. And then she barks again. And the second we open the front door, I see his brother like crouching because we have like a sub level. So like there's like so you
Oh.
can kind of see through the stair. I just see his brother's like head because he was hiding with a camera to film our engagement.
Yeah.
So I like see Jay and I'm like, I'm getting engaged. The second I set foot in the house, I was like, I'm
You're
getting
getting
engaged. Like,
engaged.
holy shit. So
Yeah.
then like I walk and then the living room had like rose petals and that like Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga song's playing, and then Danny, our like housemate, and his friend Greg have each one of my dogs, and they have little scarves on that say like, "Will you marry my dad?" And I
Wow.
was like, "Oh my god!" And then I just look, and he's like on his knee, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like it was so well executed
Wow.
because I really, considering how many clues I had,
Yeah.
he's still because I just assumed it would be Christmas,
Was it a
so
long
or Christmas
speech?
Eve or something. So it just went like right over my head. So
Wow.
it was really cute. It was
Wa-
really cute.
Was it a long speech? Were you nervous? Was he nervous?
He was so nervous. I was nervous because like we
Okay.
had like a little bit of like a group
Yeah.
because of the dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god." But I was nervous because I was just so shocked. I was like, "Oh my god, like it's I really did not know this was happening. Like
It's
holy
happening.
shit." Like
Yeah.
so I was just like shocked because you like kind of wait for that moment. I was like, "Oh my
Right.
god, it's fucking happening." So that was crazy.
How nice is the ring? The ring is pretty awesome. Pretty
The
nice,
ring's
right?
adorable. I'm
Can you,
obsessed with the
can you
ring.
show it to the camera? You can show it to the
Yeah, he
camera.
did
Beautiful.
it's like a black diamond situation on the sides
Very nice.
because I asked him well, when he was like saying, he was like, "Oh, like what would you like?" And I was like, I was like, I'm not like a queen with the cuts or anything. I have no fucking idea. I was like, preferably not square is my only thing
Yeah.
I'm asking. Nothing against square diamonds, just not my
Not your
style.
forte. Mhm.
Nope. I was like, and if you could incorporate black, we're all set, and white gold. And he went and he literally like went to the jeweler and like worked with them to make this. Like he lied to me about like going to his friend has like a Tesla or
Right.
something, and just so happened to scratch his car that week. They
Oh,
didn't actually, they
man.
told me they were going to get the car fixed and they were like at the jeweler trying to, so like
Trying
he
to
just like,
a
it's
lot
so
of
funny because
things.
it'd
There's a
be
lot of
like,
things that added up. Yeah. You're looking
yeah, and
back
it's
at it
like,
now.
yeah, it's like, are you being shady? Like what's happening? When like literally like poor dude's just trying to like get me a ring
Right.
made.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
like the jeweler was so cute because I thought I was a size 6, but I'm a little bit smaller than a 6. So the jeweler had to like take it down the tiniest bit because I didn't want to, it was slipping off my knuckle.
Okay.
So we went back and I walked in. It was just like this like cute old man in Tarrytown who's like this family jeweler and's been doing it forever. And I'm like, I also like that you went that route, because it's
Right.
just nice to have like something like that. And the guy was like, she said yes, and like was so cute. Like,
Yeah.
so it was just all around like a very nice experience, like through and
Experience.
through.
So the wedding is next year.
Mm,
It's gonna be a small one, big one. What's the
big
guest
one,
count so
200.
far? 200.
Mm.
Wow, big
I got a
one.
lot of family. Got a lot of friends.
Jeez. Who's
You
who's got a
cheesecake
bigger
bastards.
family?
There's so many of you.
Whose
Huh?
family's bigger? Your family or his
My
family's
family.
big? Yours
100%
family
my
by
family.
far.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the wedding gonna be? Somewhere upstate or
It's considered West Park, New York, but like
okay.
no one knows where that is. It's right by New Paltz. Like you
Okay.
get off the New Paltz exit and it's called like Red Maple Vineyard. And it's a really nice spot. We went to a wedding there.
Okay.
One of my friends and like my old coworker, and I just remember being there and the food was really good. And I know that sounds like dumb, but if you've been to as many weddings as I have, the food
Yeah.
disappoints me time and
Yeah.
time again. And
Go
that's not even as a
50-50.
hater. It's just when you're making it as on that scale, it's never going to be as good as the tasting.
Right.
And that was one of the first, like only places, honestly, that I've like sat down and been like, wow, like this is actually like, I think I got like a fillet of some sort and it was like actually delicious. And I was like, this never happens. Turns out they're like farm to table and it's like super cool. So like where you get married, like there's just a mountain landscape behind you. And then like the inside is just like this cool like stone farmhouse vibe.
Yeah.
And all around just like really good vibes. And like when you meet with the people, it's like the owner and he's telling you how like everything's handmade and all the food comes from the farm that they grow on site. And I'm like, you know
Right.
what? Like this is so sick. So we
Right.
even said when we were at that wedding, I was like, this kind of checks all the boxes that like I was thinking of. And he was like, I love it.
Yeah.
So as
Good.
soon as it became available, we literally like jumped on it. We almost didn't get our date. We got a cool date. We got 1010.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Nice.
yeah, but it was booked, like it was on a hold or something. So I think 1017 was available. And I was
Hmm.
like, we'll do it. Like, I don't care. But I told the lady, I was like, if 1010 pops up, please put me in for that. And the
Wow.
people ended up dropping for whatever reason. So we got 1010. So I'm
Wow.
hyped about that.
That's
So
pretty
yeah,
cool. I've met Alex, great dude, laid back dude. Wish
he's
you
a
guys the
gem.
best. Wish you guys nothing but the best for sure.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Um, so now you guys are homeowners, right? The
Yeah,
process. Um, what do you know now you didn't know before? I mean,
so much.
some do's and don'ts, right?
Somewhat.
some do's and don'ts in terms of buying a house?
Oh, you want a fun one? I had no idea school taxes were separate from property taxes. And I
Yeah,
know that sounds really stupid in hindsight, but like
yeah,
throughout the entire like home buying process,
yeah. It's a lot.
nobody
Yeah,
said anything. Like
yeah,
the realtor, like literally nobody mentioned that. And like, we never bought a house before. So like
yeah.
we like literally didn't know
Hmm.
at all. And then we
Right.
just randomly got a bill. And it was so expensive. We're like, this is so shitty. We didn't even know this was a thing. I was like, I thought it because you go on Zillow and it's like
Yeah.
estimated tax, and we're like six. So when we got that letter in the mail, I was like, this many $1,000. What the
Yeah.
fuck? So that was an epiphany. But that
Yeah.
and like a lot of stuff, like even just like the renovation process, like we learned so much. This was an older house, not
Right.
like too old. It's really not like I think 67. It was built 67 or 64, one of the two.
67. Yeah.
And this is definitely a Sears house. I'm pretty sure, which I actually think is sick because like there's this crazy thing in my boiler room that is like from the 60s that says
Right.
Sears on it. So I'm like 90% certain that this is one of those like build a Sears houses.
Right.
And it had like wood panel walls, which like they painted over them, which didn't necessarily look bad, but that's also bad for them. And these people, or like whoever owned it prior, like they painted these walls all the time because
All
the
the time.
paint was like thick. So like
Right. Right.
we weren't going to do like a full blown renovation, but once we had to rip basically all the walls out to put drywall up. And
Right.
once we did that, and you could see through every wall in the house, we were like,
Yeah.
we gutted the house. We're doing a
Yeah.
full blown renovation. Oh my god! So then we pretty
It's,
much just dove in.
it's crazy. Renovations are crazy. I mean, you guys just moved in February. Are you
Mhm.
happy what a house looks like now compared to when you
Oh my
bought it?
god!
Night and day.
Yes,
Night
it
and day.
looks night and day.
Yeah.
Literally, like my living room. I almost wish I had something on me. My living room was atrocious. Like when we moved in, the kitchen. It's funny because when we walked in this house, kind of another weird one. The neighbor's house is what we had like a scheduled tour of or whatever. And neighbor's house, similar layout, like they had similar stairs. I think like same builder, architect, however the hell
Okay.
that works.
Hmm.
Um, Similar layout, but we walked out of that one and we liked it. But that one, like, no hate, but you could tell like old people lived there before, like by the wall, like everything. We're like, a lot's gonna have to be done because like that is like
Right.
old people live there. Um, so then we walked out, and as we walked out, they were putting up an open house sign on this house. So we were like, might as well. So we went in, and this one, like similar vibes, but just had a beautiful layout. And we're like, this makes more sense to me. Like, I like this. And we both just like kind of felt it because we had been to like, we saw a lot of houses by this
Right.
point. We were going every weekend,
Right.
like 5 houses at
Hunting.
least.
Hunting. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we walked in this one, we're like, shit, like this might be the one. Like, I love everything about this. I love the location. I love the yard. I love this, like whatever. Um, and what happened? What was like the driving point? But the one thing is like once it was ours and we like were already in love with it, and like we got the inspection, everything checked out fine and all that stuff. We just like kind of realized we're like, we are like in a little bit over our head. Like we have so much work to do. Like
To
we
do.
didn't
Yeah.
think it would be as much. I don't think anybody ever does.
No one does. You never know. You never know.
No,
Yeah.
that's really what it was. And then
Yeah.
like once we started, we did so much. Like my living room was literally scary looking. Like it had like this like tile that was like a grayish green and this like really like almost skin pink wall color. Like it was like
Yeah.
brutal
Right.
and like dark, like the way the lighting was. I mentioned at some point we had to do a lot of wall lighting because we can't do hi-hats for
Right.
a lot of the stuff, which that was a learning curve too. I had to learn how to light a house on the wall
Man.
effectively.
Learning on the fly.
No, like
Yeah.
for real. And I've never had to design a kitchen. That was a bitch. Do you know how hard it is to design a kitchen? That was crazy. And just to design a whole house like on the
Yeah.
fly, like
Yeah.
quite literally, like
Yeah.
it was nuts. But I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It's literally night and day.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
insane. And we opened it up more. There was like a weird box when you first walk in the kitchen. They had a coat closet
Right.
in the weirdest way. It's like you walk in the door to the front door, and then there's like a wall right here,
Right.
and then like an open doorway, no door on it, but like a doorway. And then like if you walk in it, you're in the kitchen, but then just like a closet. And it made no sense at all whatsoever. And like the support beams just sticking out of the top of the closet. It was so strange.
Crazy.
So like that was also one of the first things we did. We were like, oh, like we're going to knock this closet out. Like this makes absolutely no sense. So it opened our whole kitchen and honestly house up and made a huge difference. But like even that stuff, like
Wow.
I know. And now I'm learning how to garden. I can't garden. I just bought like a tree. It's sitting on my dining room table. I'm horrified.
Man, so you
We're
guys
gonna
bought
try.
the house. How long? So from buying the house to renovations, what's the gap in between? How long
We
did it
bought
take?
the house in, I think we closed late August,
Okay.
and then we officially moved in early February
Okay. It's been a
because we
while.
thought we'd be done closer to Christmas. We were
Right.
hoping,
Right.
but cold weather, like a bunch of stupid
A lot of
stuff.
weird
Just how, like
things.
it always gets.
Yeah.
And my contractor was amazing. Like
Right.
I love him. I'm still working with him. He's great. But just like dumb little things started popping up, and yeah, we ended up moving. And we also, because like we weren't locked into a lease either because we were like with his friend or whatever.
Right.
So
Right.
we just try to get as much done as humanly possible because like when we moved in, we're like, we're moving in with the dogs are going to be all over everything
Yeah.
needs to be cleaned. So
Right.
like we did it.
Yeah. Coolest thing you guys added into the new home. What do you think, in your opinion?
What do you mean added?
Like just like maybe like you didn't like, you just like put it in there, like something that was there, took it out, and it's like this is what was meant to be.
The entire living room. Like,
Really?
yeah, so the living
Okay.
room was like I said, that weirdest green tile and like a skin pink. I don't know how else to describe it. It was a very suspicious pink
Right.
colored wall, and the beam was like really thin and suspicious looking. There's also a support beam like not directly in the middle of in the living room, but like in a kind of awkward spot that like when you're putting the couches down, you're like, how am I going to put this down and not block
Yeah.
the TV type of thing?
Right.
So, um, because the living room, like I said, it's a weird sublevel. So like you walk in and then there's like 4 steps down and that's the living room. And then like you're in like the kitchen level and then like the steps up the stairs. Like it's like one of those weird, but it's kind of
Right.
cool. I actually love it.
Okay.
But when you're in the living room, you're kind of ground level. Like where the windows are is
Right.
like ground level.
Ground level. Okay.
So we had to do, because it's I guess technically a basement, tile floor, which like I don't associate a living room with. I'm like a wood floor gal, but if
Yeah.
you're doing a
Yeah.
basement situation, like
Right.
you can't, even though we've never had like leak or water issues, but you know, just to be safe,
Good.
whatever. We did
Yeah.
like this really cool, like black marblish tile that ended up looking like sick.
Right.
And the way the wall was, they just had it painted, but there's like I don't know what it's called. I'm not gonna pretend to know what it's called. But like kind of like halfway up the wall there's like that concrete thing and it's
Okay.
like built in and it comes out a little bit but you can't do anything
Can't
about it. It's
yeah.
like part of the house's
Foundation.
yes
Yeah.
thing. I was like,
Yeah.
what is the word?
Yeah.
Part of the
Yeah.
foundation.
Right.
So it was like driving me crazy because I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do with this? Like it just looks awkward, like how it just kind of sticks out. So I literally sat there, me and Alex one night, and I drew. I'm not like a drawer, by the way. It's very like a map
Yeah.
out, but
Yeah.
how we did molding. So we like basically put like drywall on it and then molded it and then put new molding on top of it. And then like the little square boxes. So it kind of separated that
Okay.
from the wall, which just completely like between the floor, the cool floor, like the marblish floor,
Right.
the beam we made kind of look like a Roman pillar. We like had that kind of done to it to give it a vibe.
Nice.
And then by putting the molding on that, it really made the room look, and relighting it
Right.
1,000 times better. Like it literally
Awesome.
looked like a haunted murder den. And then we did that, and now it's like people they walk into our living room and be like, "Lil, like holy
Wow.
shit!" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Before and after for sure.
yeah." The before and afters are
Yeah.
wild. I also did a penny floor bathroom. That is like my
Wow.
proudest thing.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
obsessed.
Any arguments with you and Alex about the whole renovation? Was it 50-50? How much compromising did you guys do?
There was compromising 1,000%.
Yeah.
No like crazy arguments.
Okay.
There was definitely conversations where I'm like, the fuck. And like for me too, like both of us with like stupid things. But I think one of the main things is like he's such a sport guy and he was like, I'm gonna make the basement, like which is the living room. He's like, I'm gonna make it a man cave. And I was like, that is still our living room. I was like, which is fine. Like because so I have my goth room that I'm in
Right.
right now, right?
Yeah.
And like this
Yeah.
is gonna be like when it's done, it's nowhere near done, but when it's done, it's gonna be like
Right.
wild.
Sick. Yeah.
And for him, I think he wanted like a man cave version of that of the living room. And I was like, if it weren't literally the living room, like I'd have no issue. And like
Right.
he has like forgot what player it is, but he has one signed Rangers jersey that's framed. It's like a kid size jersey though. It's funny because he's
Okay.
had it since he was a kid.
Oh wow.
But he's had that frame forever. So we're gonna put that up. Um, one Giants thing, and then he had like a Giants beer opener or whatever that he was like trying to like put on like the wall or the beam in the kitchen. I was like, that is
Right.
not fucking going there. Um, but I think that was the only thing. But like there are little like sports things incorporated. Like it's weird because our house is very modern but also antique, which is exactly what we were going for.
Right.
So like where he squeezes the sports stuff and some because he has like the more modern taste and I have like the Victorian goth taste. So
Yeah.
like watching that clash is pretty interesting.
Right.
Um, but our tastes weirdly combined work out. Like
Good.
it's you kind of get different vibes to the house, but it's all
Right.
cohesive. I don't know how.
It
I
worked
really
out.
don't know
It just
how, but it
magically worked
works.
out. It
It
worked out.
somehow works. Like he
That's
loves
awesome.
blue and they painted our bathroom. My penny floor bathroom, which like was my like pride and joy. I had like a psychotic plan for this bathroom.
Yeah.
And I ordered like this custom paint and like I went through like all this stuff and it was like this crazy like deep blue. And they accidentally painted our master bath that color, which I had planned for like the only bathroom I like really gave a shit about was like this penny bathroom. And
Right.
they painted it the wrong color, which was fine. I ended up doing like a charcoal gray and it actually
Okay.
looks like sick. Um, but when they did that, I was like, fuck, like I was like, I had it like envisioned, like whatever. Alex's favorite color is blue. It's the master bathroom. So he's like, this is
He
like
loves that. That's
beautiful.
heaven. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, do you want to like do because that one we didn't have to do much work to. The shower was pretty new. We just had to paint and we did like a new toilet and vanity, whatever.
Okay.
And mirror, because the mirror was suspicious. But the floor, we ended up doing a new floor on that too, because it was the same as like the ugly living room floor tile. So
Right.
we did a new, and he got this like cool blue tile. So like that's like his little blue vibe room. So it's like even things that like didn't mean to happen, like the
Right.
master bathroom. I think it's cute. I don't like I like it, like whatever, but like that is an Alex vibe bathroom if I've
Right.
ever seen one. Even like the
Wow.
towels, he just got like these blue like Lacoste towels. I'm like,
All blue everything.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, go ahead. Like, so it does, it works.
I can't wait to see the house, man. The
No,
housewarming,
I'm
right?
excited
This
to have
summer. It's gonna
everybody.
be pretty cool. Yeah.
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 No,
That's
I'm very,
awesome.
very excited. I definitely need to have like a barbecue of some sort. I do want to have a warming. And I
Yeah.
want to have like more of a cheesecake vibe because, like I said, I was thinking with the engagement thing, and I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I was like, it's so many people. And I feel like you guys like are like way more like let loose. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to do something different with them. I just
Okay.
think it'll be more fun. And it'll be like friends too.
Right.
What is this?
You can
And I
tell.
think it'll be like more friends too. And I think it'll just work out really nicely.
That's awesome.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Sorry, I tried to order
All
food.
good. You ready for some rapid fire questions?
Hit me.
You love dogs. What was your first dog's name?
My first dog's name was Lady, and she was a little Cocker Spaniel, and I was obsessed with her. I had her from when I was 9 to 21.
Wow. You have
Yeah.
2 dogs right now. You thinking of getting one more?
Absolutely not. I love my dogs. I'm obsessed with my dogs. Like,
Right.
no apology. I'm obsessed with them. I love them so much. They're so needy. And Abby is like medicated. She has Addison's disease, which
Okay.
is like a little expensive to maintain and just like nerve wracking because like the thing with that is like the longest story short, her adrenal glands don't work. So like stress management is very important because if she gets so stressed out, it's called like Addisonian crisis, but she could literally die from it. It's like wild. Humans could have it too.
Wow.
It's my dog has an autoimmune disease.
Wow.
So her alone with that, she has very bad separation anxiety. So like we have her on a good schedule where she's barely ever alone. She's pretty good like when we're away, but she still gets like nervous.
Right.
And she's just like the most nervous, awkward dog you've ever met. Like she has a very funny personality, but she's like very awkward. So and like needy, like I said. So maintaining her with that alone is one. But my little husky Sassy, she even introducing Sassy to my dog because Sassy's technically older. They're both rescues, but I got Abby first. It took me like 2 months to like fully introduce them and like get them to get along. So I couldn't even imagine adding a third into the mix.
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine.
You've had roommates over your lifetime. Craziest roommate you ever had?
Crazy. I had the same two roommates like the whole time.
The whole time?
The whole time.
Really?
Yeah. It
Okay.
was really nothing wild. We all got along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So roommates could be a little crazy, right? I mean,
We all had our moments where we were like hot messes, but it was honestly nothing crazy. Like truly, like because it wasn't like we were like young 20s. We were like mid 20s. We were all
Right.
just like working and in school.
yeah,
Like sometimes one of us would come home drunk and a little loud, and they'd be like, "Shut the fuck up," and that was like really,
yeah, that was
it was
it.
nothing.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show growing up?
Right now, I've been trying to finish What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
It's like this like really dumb vampire show, but it's like very funny. It's like a dry humor situation. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to finish it, but every time I put it on, for some reason, it drives Alex insane. So like I keep thinking he's like asleep when I try to put it on,
Yeah.
and then he like wakes up and he's like, "Please, not this." And I'm like, "God damn it!" So I keep not being able to finish What We Do in the Shadows. But I did just binge White Lotus.
Okay.
Loved it. Did you watch White Lotus?
I heard about it. I haven't watched it yet.
Dude,
It's
you gotta
really good.
watch it.
Yeah.
It's
White
wild.
Lotus.
Yeah.
I write that down. White
Yeah,
Lotus.
it's good. It is good. The first
Okay.
season I think was still my favorite season, but it is. It's a good show.
Awesome.
Good cast. I love The Righteous Gemstones as well.
Okay.
That's like a comedy show. That's on HBO. It's like
Yeah.
a super church family. It's so funny. Um, that and then yeah, Black Mirror. I'm watching. I always watch
Black
Black
Mirror.
Mirror though. The season's been the first episode was really good. The second one was just like strange, but also good. But I do
Yeah.
enjoy Black Mirror.
That's awesome.
So that's my top right now.
Did you watch
Favorite show?
you watch cartoons as a kid? Any cartoons?
Oh, I loved cartoons as a kid. I was obsessed with the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which obviously makes like so much sense, and
Yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog,
Oh, there you go. All right.
and
Big-
the old Teen Titans.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
the first Teen Titans.
First Teen Titans.
It was like wild. The other one, like Teen Titans Go,
Yeah.
which I guess is technically kind of old now too, because that's probably 10 years old. But that one
Yeah.
was like way more like funny. So now when you say Teen Titans, people are like, oh my God, like I love that. It's so funny. The old Teen Titans was so serious. Like there
Yeah.
was one episode where this bitch turned into stone. And the other guy was like just standing there like crying, and I
Yeah.
was crying. The other one was like so dark. So
Right.
now when people are like, oh, like Teen Titans, like haha, I'm like, no, not the happy Teen Titans, the crazy Teen Titans.
Favorite actor, comedian of all time? What do you got?
Favorite actor or comedian?
Yeah.
I've been obsessed with Heath. He's dead, and I'm pissed about it. But Heath Ledger,
Yeah.
I
Loves
was
his soul.
obsessed with since I was a child, and the
Yeah.
Joker and all that. Also Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with The Dark Knight. If you're gonna ask me my favorite movie of all time, it's The Dark Knight. I am obsessed with The Dark Knight. So Heath Ledger and just like his other roles too. I loved him. Comedian is rough. So my favorite comedian of all time is definitely George Carlin.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I grew up just watching him late night, and I loved him, and Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle and
Yeah.
Cat Williams. I love them so much. And then of the newer ones, I do love John Mulaney. I like
Okay.
his like type of like slow burn humor, and
Yeah.
I love Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Yeah.
I like literally feel like Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr so much.
What's your thing you like to eat? Your go-to dish?
My go-to dish. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to turn off the notifications for this because everybody's like, my go-to dish
Yeah.
is probably I'm like a Japanese food.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with like a sushi roll moment. Or actually, Alex wants to kill me. It's really funny. I keep making pasta fajoule because I just learned how to make pasta fajoule, and I love pasta fajoule. So, like in the past month, I
Yeah.
think I've made pasta fajoule like huge batches.
Right.
I'm
Right.
making him eat it like every day. I think I've made it like 3 times. So, like now he's
He
like,
wants to kill you.
please stop. And I'm like, I'm just trying to perfect the recipe so I could write
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say, has it gotten better every
That's what
time
I'm
you
doing.
made
I'm
it?
trying to
Yeah.
rework it because
Yeah.
what keeps happening is I don't get enough broth. So I'm trying to like, because it's a little too much like noodle to veggie.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure it out, and I keep making it because I want it to just be like good. And he is over it, let me tell you. But currently pasta fajoule for sure.
What's your drinking choice these days? Coffee, cocktails? What do you drink?
On a like normal day-to-day basis, coffee. I
Okay.
am such a coffee person. I just got a little espresso maker, so I'm like living with that thing. I'm obsessed.
There you go.
But definitely coffee, dark roast coffee.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm on a coconut water kick right now because I live near Trader Joe's and their coconut water is banging.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
that because I'm kind of horrible with water,
Yeah.
like regular
Like
water.
drinking
I
water.
like
Yeah.
water. I'm not excuse me, I'm not one of those people that like hates water, but like I'm just not good at like remembering to drink water. I never have been my
Yeah.
entire
Yeah.
life. Like I'm just like that. At
Right.
cheesecake, I used to like force myself to
To
drink water.
drink
Like,
water.
and
Yeah.
even at the bar, like I force myself. I literally pour a cup and then I make myself drink it in one sitting, or I'm not going to drink it.
Yeah.
Um, and then like pretty much like drinking, I did get pretty drunk on St. Patty's Day. I did a lot of Irish car bombs, but generally, I actually really don't drink nearly as much as I used to. Not for any particular reason. I'm like definitely more of a homebody at the moment.
Right.
Because I'm just constantly doing crap with the house. But cocktail of the moment, and this has always been a thing, and I know it's a trend right now, but I have been here for 10 years. Espresso martini.
Espresso martini.
Espresso martini.
Wow.
Or
Okay.
an old fashioned. Literally old man drink to trendy young girl drink. I love a good old fashioned and I
Yeah.
love an espresso martini.
You hate
Those are
making
my
them, but
top.
you love hate making them, but you love drinking them. Those two
Yes.
drinks.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. Old fashions, I don't mind so much. They sound more complicated
You
than they
gotta
are, but I
stir
love
the
it.
little
Yeah,
ice
you gotta
cube
give
in
a
there.
little
Yeah. Yeah.
situation. Yeah. Gotta do the cherry, the
Yeah.
orange, the bitters. I
Yeah.
love it old fashioned,
Yeah.
especially a smoked. Luckily, my bar's not that fancy, but
Yeah.
I love a smoked old fashioned
Smoked old fashioned.
as
There you
well.
go.
First time I got served one, I was like, "This is ridiculous. I love it."
What's the last thing you Googled?
I don't know. Let's find out together. I would love to know, honestly.
Oh
Last
man.
thing I Googled was a restaurant called the Tortilla Project.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yep. Because
Um,
that's what we were doing. We were at Tractor Supply Company because I'm trying to find galvanized tins for the engagement when we have barbecues. Not like anything crazy, but like as a cool cooler
yeah.
type thing. If you do events, we have like I don't want to be like we're going to do events all the time, but like we have a yard that's pretty much made to host.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like get my good stuff that I can pull out when I have people. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to find one of those like nice tins, like to put like drinks, like wine bottles and beers in. Literally not having any luck. I've been looking, it's a real pain in the ass, but
Right.
we went to Tractor Supply to try to look, and then
Right.
we were looking for a restaurant. So I Googled the Tortilla Project and it was banging. It was very good.
Awesome. The whole Lily versus Goth Lil, that Goth
Oh my
Lil
God.
thing, how did that come about? I mean, what's the difference between Lily versus Goth Lil?
That's a good question. I feel like Lily is goth Lil, except
Yeah.
Lily is like more refined. Like there comes a point I've
Uh-huh.
learned, and I think this is just maturing for you.
Yeah.
When I was younger, like I'm gonna say probably around 12, I was like, I'm gonna immerse myself in it. I dyed my hair black. Um, the whole works. I had my septum pierced. I got a tattoo when I was 16. Um, I had, yeah, I had just had so many piercings. I had gauges at one point, which I'm so lucky that they closed up because that could have been
Wow.
really shitty. Um, and I just went to like shows at the Chance all the time in Poughkeepsie. That was like a big like punk rock venue back in the day, and I just loved like Avenged Sevenfold and like all these metal bands and My Chemical Romance, and that was just like my life. Like when I got a job, it was to get concert tickets. Like
Yeah.
when I was 14 and 15 starting in like restaurants, that was
Right.
literally like why I got a job. That's what I
Right.
spent all my money on. I still have this little cabinet I had like in my room, like from when I lived at my parents, and it's literally just all of my concert tickets, and it's a stack like this big of just all the events I went to. And a lot
Wow.
of these bands have like either broken up or blown up like
Yeah.
since I've seen them. Like I'm like one of those people where I was like, they were nobody and I saw them for $10. Like I was there.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And I don't know, it's more so like an I loved the music thing more than a goth thing. And I loved like like I just liked like the look of it and like the music part and all that stuff.
Right.
And then I did. I just dressed. I lived that for a hot minute. And then I think really as I got a little bit older, especially like once I started like going to school and like getting more corporate and all that crap, I was like, okay, I was like, you like this is you like 100%, but also like, and even when I got my tattoos, like I always made sure there was something like, cause I knew that I would end up in an office. Like I
Right.
just, college wise and stuff, I was like very on it with that. So I was like, you're going to end up in an office. Don't get a tattoo on your neck. Don't get like tattoo sleeves. Like make sure you can cover this up
Yeah.
because one day you're going to end up in an office. So that was always kind of my vibe. And when I got a little older, I just kind of like laxed out a little bit because like black hair, not going to lie, I'm very pale. Didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Um, And I still think I have like a little bit of a goth look to me, but like I've definitely toned it down a bit. Like it's more so like you're still a goth. You just dress
Yeah.
like a normal human being. Like in all my shirts, whenever I find like a skull shirt, like
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
it's always
Kind
there,
of
you know?
little subtle things here and
That's
there.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me now.
Yeah.
It's like as long as you can do it, and it's not like in your face. And I have like a very specific, like mine's not just like in your face, like, oh, there's a skull on it. Like this is kind of like one of those things. I love this shirt. I've
Yeah.
had this for like 15 years, but like
Right.
it's very like Victorian. Like I'm getting like weird 1800s ghost
Yeah.
goth now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm descending like another level of goth that is arguably deeper. So
Right.
I
Interesting.
might be the gothiest I've ever been. It's just very low key now.
How many tattoos do you have now? Are you planning on getting any more, or you're done? That's it.
Um, I do think I'm gonna get more, not like a crazy amount more, and
Okay.
like probably like a little bit daintier. I don't have any giant pieces. I got every giant piece that I wanted. But
Okay.
how many tattoos do I have is a good question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, foot. Arm. This is technically 2, but I'll count it as 1, 3. Technically 2, I'll count it as 1, 4 behind the ear. I have like 5 or 6.
Five
And
or
then like
six.
all of
Wow.
them gotten separately. So like probably like as I was getting them, it would be like more like 8 or 9 or something. But
Wow.
one I'm trying to get removed. I actually got it lasered once. I need to laser it again. It's this guy, the butterfly.
Right.
I just really it's been lasered once. I'm not crazy with the way it
Right.
looked. Like I don't know, the line work and the color just weren't sitting right.
Right.
And I went and got it lasered a while ago, and I just need to go back. But before the wedding, I would like to go back and laser it just a touch more. Not for any like it's just I'm not crazy about the quality, and it's one of the few ones I could actually say. So I'm like, you're getting lasered off. The rest of it I'm keeping. It's just a little butterfly.
There you go.
There's one from a book I kind of want to get. It's like a little lame, but it's not, and it sounds like way wilder than it is. It's like a dainty little thing, but it's like a dragon. It's just like it's not like a crazy big dragon going crazy. It's like
Right.
a little black outline of a dragon
Okay.
with a thing from a book I've been reading that I think I might replace this damn butterfly with, like just something to give it, because this
cover
just
it.
kind of
Yeah.
looks like a stamp.
Right. Yeah.
So like I'm trying to get something to give it a little like dimension,
Yeah.
essentially.
There
But
you
yeah,
go.
I do. I love tattoos. Oh, my tattoo artist also moved to friggin' Utah.
Wow.
That is actually the reason I probably haven't gotten tattooed in so long. My
Right.
tattoo artist moved to Utah and I loved him. I'm pissed.
He did all your tattoos.
Most, yeah.
Most of
At
them.
least when I found him. As soon as I found him, he did everything from there. And then I got that butterfly, which came out like crap. He didn't do it. I'm like, I'm staying loyal to my guy.
Balsamic guy. What a weirdo, right? I mean,
Wild.
it's,
Balsamic.
yeah. In a
The back of
nutshell.
the key is a term even to my friends to this day.
Yeah.
He doesn't get brought up often, but like once a year, it's like, remember balsamic? And we laugh and we laugh.
How crazy was that guy? That story. Shed some light real quick on that.
I will never forget that as long as I live. So that was a funny one. I went on a date and it was like down the road from my house, but I like didn't want him to know that it was down the road from he picked the location, but when I tell you it was a walk from my house. So like I did walk because I don't know. It was literally like that easy. And it was more annoying to find parking than to walk. So I actually went a little early so he didn't see me walking there because I didn't want him to know where I lived because, you know, don't want to get killed.
Yeah.
So the first red flag was so funny because his profile or whatever said that he was like almost, I don't think it said 6 feet tall, but it was like very close to 6 feet tall.
Right.
I am also not like a height queen. I don't care. But if you lie about it now, I'm annoyed. So I walk up and we meet, and he is either the same height as me, if not like an inch shorter. So like I like literally like, and I was trying not, I'm really not a bitch. I more so like thought it was being funny, but I quickly grasped this dude like cannot take a joke.
Yeah.
So as soon as like I walked up or something, I was like, oh my God, like it's nice to meet you, like whatever. And he's like, nice to meet you too. And like joking, I was like, I didn't know I was 5'11", like something like that, like whatever, like kidding, because I thought it was like funny. It really wasn't meant to be like a bitch.
Right.
Like I just said it like, cause like, dude, like it was such a drastic difference or whatever. And he was like, I could tell he was like enraged off rip. So I was like,
not feeling it.
Not at all. And I was like, ooh, I was like, you are not gonna like my humor. Like I can already tell. Shit. So we have dinner, and like nothing special. Like honestly, like nothing crazy. There was no like crazy chemistry, like nothing like that. And I remember just being like, huh, like not loving this, but like
Mhm.
trying to be polite, like at least make it through. I'm not gonna leave mid dinner. So I'm like, all right,
Right.
like whatever. And then it's the end of it or whatever. And there was some point when we had a conversation on the app or something that he mentioned, like, I don't even know how it came up, but somehow balsamic vinaigrette on ice cream was mentioned. And he was like, have you ever tried it? And I was like, no, like, it doesn't sound good. Like, I
Appealing.
saw it. Yeah. I mentioned that I saw it on like the menu at a place once because there was some like ice cream place in Peekskill that had like a balsamic sundae. And I remember because I was like, that sounds disgusting. Like, and
Yeah.
that's literally like my core memory of it. And I
Yeah.
think I said that. And then he was like, "Oh, it's actually like pretty good." Like da 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 da. And I was like, "Oh, like interesting," but like I didn't give a fuck. I was just trying to be nice. So whatever that. And then after dinner, he's like, "There's this really good ice cream place around the corner." Obviously, I knew that. I lived around the corner. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, like cool." He was like, "Would you like to go?" I was like, "Sure, I can go for ice cream, whatever." Also, I'm like I will never say no because I feel rude. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
I could have hated the guy.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't love the guy, but I was like, I'll go. So we go. And I get this ice cream. And honestly, it was like banging because Blue Pig and Croton, delicious.
Mhm.
And I'm like eating it or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, like how do you like your ice cream? Like this and that." And I was like, "Oh, it's so good. How do you like yours? Whatever." He's like, "Great, like da da da." And he's like, "I brought something or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, like what'd you bring?" And I'm not even kidding lightly. He pulls out a glass bottle of balsamic like vinaigrette or glaze or something like out of his like pocket, which was just like alarming. And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, like whatever." And he's like, "You ready to like try it?" And I was like, and I just couldn't believe that. I was like, "How the fuck is this happening right now? Like, why me? Like, god damn it. Like, whatever." So like, and internally, I'm like, I can't wait to tell my friends the story. My life is a fucking joke. Like, and mind you, like me, I'll do anything for the story. So I
Yeah.
was like, this is like ridiculous. So he pulls it out and I'm like, oh, and like I don't know what to do. And he's just like, "You're gonna love it." Like I promise, and just like dumps it all over like my fucking ice. And I was so mad because like when I tell you it was drenched. And I was like,
Wow.
"You fucking asshole." I couldn't even eat around it and pretend. I was like, "God damn it." So that. And then and then he like goes to put it back. I was like, "You better be like balsamicking your ice cream up too, bro. Like you love it so much, like whatever." I didn't say it like
Man.
that. I said it nicer, but like
Yeah.
internally I was raging.
Right.
So he like puts like some on his ice cream and I'm like, whatever. So then like he's like, and then I had to watch him eat it first. I'm like, what if this is poison? You pulled it out of your pocket. So I watched him take a bite first to confirm
He
that
actually ate it. He actually enjoyed it.
he I guess like
Mhm.
I still think he was just so pretentious that he told himself he was one of
Right.
those. Like I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
else to
yeah.
describe it. He was the most
Convinced
pretentious
himself
person
that this is
I've ever
actually
met.
delicious. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like that was the vibes of him the whole time.
Right.
Like even
Right.
as soon as I made the joke, like I was like, this guy, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
So whatever. And I did. I like sat there and like he was like, "What do you think?" Like the whole time. And like I didn't like it. And I was like, "It's not that bad." It was disgusting. It
Yeah.
was disgusting. I had 3 bites and then I kept like fake eating my ice cream and I threw it out.
Wow.
And then I remember like coming to work or wherever, and I was like, "Guys,"
Yeah.
I was like, "He poured balsamic in
Yeah.
my fucking ice cream." And
And
I'll never forget that.
you never saw him again after that.
No, no.
Wow.
And now literally like there is like just a running joke with my friends every so often, balsamic.
Balsamic guy.
Me and Alex were talking about like some of our bad dates, and I was like, this one time, I was like, we
Legendary.
have a guy nicknamed Balsamic, and I told
Legendary.
him,
Music you listen to these days. I know you love metal, Linkin Park. I used to love them back in high school.
oh
Shed
yeah,
some light. The great Chester Bennington, right? I mean, sad what happened with him.
yeah.
Um, what do you listen to these days?
I still very much listen to like everything.
Okay.
This is like so dumb. Whenever I'm in the car with my dog, I got like a classical playlist for her anxious ass. So like I got some Mozart, some Beethoven, like some of that, some
Soothing.
Bach.
Yeah, yeah,
That stuff's been like going on when I've
yeah.
been whenever I drive my dog, I'm like blaring that because she's anxious and it apparently calms him down. I love it too. Like it's a bop. Like we're both chilling, but I look like a
Right.
lunatic. So I've been listening to a lot of that, and really not by choice, but I do
Right.
enjoy it. Um, a bunch of random like metal. Like whenever I could find like a new like this is like psychotic. Whenever I could find like a new like really deep scream metal thing,
Yeah.
I like jump right into that. Like what is this band? Slaughter to Prevail is a pretty
Oh,
wild one. It's like this Russian guy with a big scar on his face that screams
wow.
and wrestles bears in Russia.
I could see
His
that. Yeah.
band. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild. I do
Yeah.
enjoy them a lot. Also, like chiller, lighter stuff. I've been
Okay.
kind of just like Megan White actually showed me Glass Animals a few years ago, so I do like the Glass Animals a lot. Um, Ever since I was at the Cap, I do listen to a little bit more like Grateful Dead. Um, we're trying to pick like a wedding song, so that's been a toughie. I've been trying to
Yeah.
figure that out. I've been listening to like Jose and shit. I'm like, I have no idea.
Does he
So
have his picked out already, Alex, but not you?
we're trying to pick like the first dance song. We have
Okay.
like an
Okay.
idea, but like still not sure. I'm like, Lana, are we doing Lana? I love Lana Del Rey. I would die for
Okay.
Lana Del
Yeah,
Rey.
she's
But like
great. Yeah.
stuff like that. Like I just my music taste has always been all over the place. Country is probably like my like least listened to. And I just mean like the new country stuff. Like I
Okay.
like Johnny Cash and stuff like that. And there's like a couple bops. But like once like a truck or a tractor enters the lyrics, like count me out.
Yeah. Like
Count me
over
out.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. That is not my vibe at all. But I will listen to like anything. I listen to a lot of old music, a lot of new music.
Right.
I listen to Frank Sinatra all the time. My friends shit on me. That's why I say like it's kind of chaotic. Is my Spotify. I have like a couple different playlists that are like more genre oriented or like gym or this. But the one I listen to on a daily running basis is literally called Master, and
Okay.
it's 3,500 songs, and it's every single song in all these playlists. I always add it to this playlist and I just have it on shuffle at all times and it's psychotic.
Wow.
It'll go from like Britney Spears to the death metal to
Yeah.
the classical music
Yeah.
to like a Tiesto remix of the White Lotus song. Like it's very
All
chaotic.
over the place. All over.
It's really, yeah. So like my
Yeah.
friends hate driving with me in conclusion. Any
Favorite.
long drive, they're like, what is this? I'm like, I'm so sorry. So sorry. And I'm not going to change it.
Like a roller coaster, up
It
and
is.
down,
It
ooh,
is. They're like,
everywhere.
how do you
Yeah.
even like regulate your
Yeah.
mood? I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't.
You know, I know. I just go
I
with the
just
flow.
chill.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
happens, happens.
Favorite Biggie verse. You had a little thing we talked off air, right? Your
Or the
Biggie
party and
verse.
bullshit.
Yeah. What's it
Ooh,
go like? What does it go like?
probably the entirety of Dead Wrong. I know, like, I can that entire song. Party and bullshit as well.
Okay. You got a little hook for
Also
us? You
dark. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Absolutely not.
got
If I'm like vibing by myself, 100%. Me straight up, like no, like I can't. I'm because I'm like
Uh,
shitty at it. Like, and I know I am. I have a horrible voice. I'm so monotone.
yeah.
But and then probably why am I blanking on it? Is it Suicidal Tendencies or which one is it? That song I also know the entirety of, but the very last line is like, and I'm
Yeah.
sick of fucking talking. I'm like, yes, Biggie. That's like one of my favorite because that was just like a cold drop, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's a way to end a song.
Yeah.
I
There you
like
go.
that. That was always that was like a dark favorite, but I was like, that's some good shit.
Yeah, there you go. What's next for you on the horizon? You got work, you got marriage, kids. You're all grown up now, Lil. That's
I
it. It's
know.
over. It's downhill from here now, right?
You're done. Yeah. Um, I'm like, that's what I'm thinking about. So, like, really, like, obviously, like, I'm in the throes of like crazy life shit right now. Like, obviously, moving the house, planning the wedding, all that stuff has been like a lot and chaotic. But after that, pretty much, yeah, I left that one job for like, those reasons. And like I feel justified. I'm fine with that. And yeah, I'm just bartending now, which is a weird transition. It's crazy to go from like running all this stuff to like,
Yeah.
but it is like a much needed change. Like it's so much chiller. I love my regulars. I like working at a bar and I like vibing with people. So like for me, it's honestly like wild transition, but like
Yeah.
it's pretty chill. I enjoy it. Um, but next, I think honestly is my sister's opening a dispensary up, her and my brother-in-law. So I'm gonna help them out with that, which I'm excited for. Like that is something that is like so random. Like I never saw myself doing that, but I'm excited to be a part of it, and it seems like
Right.
something really exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that. And then like as far as like I go wise, I need to like get through this wedding and all this crap, but hopefully something like animal related. Me
Okay.
and Alex have spoken about it. Before. We don't have like a set plan or anything like that yet, but I do want to do something in terms of like animal rescue. I know that that's going to be a part of my future to some extent at some point.
Right.
Um, I wish the house was more put together. I don't know if you heard there was a cat sanctuary in Long Island that burned down.
Oh, I heard that. Wow.
about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Like a crazy fire and like 100 cats. Like it was bad, but a bunch of cats because it was a cat sanctuary thing. Dude had so many cats, like needed like fosters and all this stuff. So like a week and a half ago, and I was like, Alex, I know we're going to Las Vegas in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Could we foster some kittens? And he was like, it is not the time. He was like, babe, it is the worst fucking time. I'm also going to Montana in a month with my family. Like I'm jumping around this summer, like
Little
unbelievably
Yellowstone
stuff.
action out there, little Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I am running around
Yeah.
this summer, like for sure. Not even on purpose, but everybody's like, oh, before the wedding and like all this stuff. And it's just
Yeah.
like I am so
It's a
bucked. It's
lot. Yeah.
disgusting. It is a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, can we foster kittens? He's like, I just really think it's a bad time. And I'm like, fuck, it is a bad time. But like I definitely want to do something like pet wise.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what because I don't have the heart for like the old dog thing. I know there's those like angel people that'll get like a 15-year-old dog.
Right.
My heart can't take it personally, but I do like the idea of like fostering and stuff like that and helping in that. Even like the wildlife stuff. I've done deer, I've done raccoon, I've done all the weird shit. Like I'd vibe with a possum. I don't care. So hopefully something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Meg is doing well as well too, right?
Yeah. My sister, yeah, she's a flight attendant for Delta. So she's chilling. She's doing really good. My other
Yeah.
sister, she's doing the dispensary thing, all the
Yeah.
kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody's very good.
Everyone's
Honestly.
good. Mom's good. Dad's
Mom's
good.
good. Yep, she's chilling.
Yeah.
Dad's good. He
Yeah.
I think he got knocked in because of the Delta thing. Like if you're like a family member, you get the flights or whatever. So my dad tried to fly back today, but they make you fly.
The
Like
buddy
part of
pass.
it is you
The buddy
fly
pass.
standby.
Yeah. Yeah. Standby.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he got knocked out of his flight, I think twice. So I think he
Oh,
stayed
man.
another because he was trying to go back down south, but I think he's in New York tonight. Not by choice, but he's chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Comes with the territory.
Yeah, this has been great. A lot of fun.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Have a kick-ass. Go see your mom soon, right? Before the wedding, probably, right?
I
At
know.
some
I'm
point.
gonna see her at
She's
some
never
point.
gonna let it go. You know how parents
Oh
are.
my God. No, I know.
Your
Well,
mom's
we
fantastic.
tried
I've met
to
her.
in
She's great.
February,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he had some type of school break because it's hard with the dogs too, and
Yeah.
then she has dogs, so both of us just have a hard time like coordinating dog watching, and then the house and stuff. But I really tried to in February, right after my move. I honestly don't know how I would have done it, but I tried to do it.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, I don't know if that's a good time. I was kind of hoping you'd come around my birthday." And like her birthday is the very end of March. And I was like, that's like the worst time. Like for
Yeah.
me, like
Yeah.
there's no way in hell I can come down around that time. And she was like, well, that's kind of what I wanted. I was like, can I come in February? And she's like, no. And I'm like, all right. So I did try at least once. I
There you
will
go.
be down there at some point.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And have a kick-ass time in Vegas too, right? What happens in Vegas
Thank
stays in
you.
Vegas, right?
Oh my God. I keep
Yeah.
joking with Alex. I'm like, you want to get drive-through married like Triple H?
Triple H and Stephanie, that'd be
I like
fantastic.
discount roofie, man.
My
Uh,
goodness.
I know.
I'm telling you, there's wedding chapels in every
Oh
block.
my
You've
God,
been to
no,
Vegas
I know.
before,
We've
so
been
it's
joking about it.
crazy.
I don't think we're gonna do it, but we've been joking about it just for
Man.
shits and gigs. They have a
Crazy.
WrestleMania wedding package. We've been joking about it so much because like it's like
Man.
you're like in a ring and it's just so cheesy and funny
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
it's so tempting to be
Yeah.
stupid. But I'm like, no, we're having a real wedding. We literally booked the venue. We're having a real fucking wedding.
I can't wait to see you guys this summer for the housewarming. That'll be pretty
No,
cool.
100%.
Hope our Yankees do something.
Yes,
Your
we should go to a
Giants.
game. Yeah, you gotta let me know.
Yeah, go to a game or something. Your Giants or Rangers. Figure out something. Soto.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on with him. What happens to him.
I know.
It's a pleasure having you on tonight's show. Go
Yeah, no,
Yankees, right?
thank you for
Forever, right?
asking me. I was excited. I've been seeing these and I was like, oh my God, I love that Kenford has like this podcast. going.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Megan White and I was like, I love that. And then all of a sudden I got a message and I was like, yes, like I'm so down for that.
I'm so down. I'm so down.
Yeah,
I've got
let's
so
do
much
it.
time in my hands now. You caught me at a perfect time, you know?
No, when you texted me, I was
Yeah.
like, Kenford, I have like actually so much time. I was like,
Yeah.
get your other people, whatever you want me. I'm here.
Go Yankees, by the way, and tell Alex plenty of hello for me.
100% will do. But yes, we need to get together.
Yeah, whenever, let me know, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, sounds good.
Pleasure having you on
Pleasure.
tonight.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much. No, I had fun. I'm happy to do it. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's next for both.
For sure.
Yeah,
That's Lily Carey.
good stuff.
Awesome time. How cool was that, Carrie?
That was good.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
No,
good.
I enjoyed that. That was really
Yeah.
nice.